Hello everyone. I'm Bishi. Despite my appearances tonight, I'm cosplaying as Pirate Majima Goro. Tonight is a very special stream. Tilted? What do you mean tilted? Tilted? Shh. Shh. Don't be scared. I'm just gonna grab you violently. Is that better? We're like usually more this way. Something like that. Sure? Oh shit, you are tilted. Oh. Why are you so tilted? We're just gonna leave it at that. You might be a little diagonal, okay? Just work with it. If I really want to fix it and level it, I'm gonna have to do more, and I don't want to do it. Okay, anyway. Ruuuvo resubscribed. The Tilted Towers. How long have you been subscribed? Hold on. 79 months! What, do you like me or something? You a fan? Huh? Huh? Ruuuvo? With my 10 dogs music. I was literally joking about this earlier. Not 30 minutes ago with Ruuuvo. I was like, yeah, I gotta find a different playlist because if I just play the usual, there's gonna be some like innocent Nintendogs track playing while I'm reading Majima put his inside kid ears. There's your star, Ruuuvo. How's everyone doing tonight? I'm only streaming tonight. I wanted to stream tomorrow, but I have to use all of tomorrow to bake. So I can't. I won't have time to stream. Unless I change my mind, but... Also, just a lot of shit's been happening, and I'm like... I'm so tired, chat. I'm so tired. I'm so stressed out. So, we're just gonna have fun tonight, and I'll be back next week, okay? I'm sorry. I'm in a very good mood right now. I was so excited for this stream. I was so excited. Chat voted for Majima Goro pirate version for tonight, which I thought was really, really fun. We do have some fanfic submissions already that are pirate Majima themed. They don't have to be. But that is on brand. And of course, we're doing fanfic reading all night tonight. So if y'all have any submissions, please put them in the chat. I will save them. I'll open the tab and save it. I'm kind of gonna go in order of submissions, so I think Panda submitted some first, so we're gonna go with those. And then Ruuuvo gave me a bunch, and then Aenne also gave me some. I'm kind of waiting for Aenne to pop up for me to read those though, so I'm gonna wait on those. So if anyone else has submissions, please put them in the chat. If it's your fanfic, that's fine. It can be not safe for work. It can be safe for work. It can be not Yakuza. It can be whatever, pretty much. It can be funny. It can be sad. It's all good. It's all good. Oh, and Anna's here. Anna's here. We just started, Aenne. We just started. You're right on time. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in Arkham, who's first in the Epic Bitch of the Day. Welcome in Wolf. Welcome in Panda. Welcome in Shan. Welcome in Oni. Let's see if I missed anybody. The captain's about to tell ye some wild fish tales, you land lovers. Just tilt your body. Yep. I'll fix it. Welcome in, Archer. How you doing, Archer? You've heard of a right Twix and a left Twix, but have you heard of a diagonal Twix? What'd you call me? Majima handling our collective faces as if Goro was eating something he wasn't supposed to, yeah. Drop it! Drop it! Chat! Spit it out! Ruuuvo's been money laundering for 79 months! Money laundering $10. I don't remember how much. 10 more than nice is mega nice. It's even nicer than nice. Welcome in, Zoe. Halfway through my finals. Good luck on the rest. My goodness. Caramel popcorn sounds really good. Thanksgiving season beating our asses big time. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. But we survived despite the trials and tribulations. We persevere. Yeah, Anna, you popped up as soon as I spoke your name. It was like I cast a spell. Volunteering 2 of my fics. Okay, let me open these up. We have them on hand. And Ruuuvo gave me a lot, so I'll probably I'll read some of theirs and then read some of y'all's and kind of like swap back and forth. We'll kind of do that. We'll have to see how much time we have. I mean, in 4 hours, do y'all want to do a guess? How many fanfics will I get through in 4 hours? Some are going to be short, some are going to be long. I'm sorry. I'm just going to take a sip from my Godzilla shot glass now. Two fanfics, okay. Aenne has also graciously submitted their high school fanfics. I am particularly excited for that. I too wrote fanfics when I was younger. So I'm so excited. The ancient tomes! Welcome in, Alfred. OMG, Goro Majima, hi! Big fan! Thank you, thank you. Oh... I did summon you. I've already submitted my own. I've got it up here on the screen. Depends on how dramatic you read them. Well, I'm gonna do my best. Minami Fics should be good for a starter because it's so short. I was gonna start with I think you submitted one that is about Pirate Majima. I was gonna just start with that one because it's on brand. So we'll figure it out. The scripts of old. And also, Anna, let me know if there's a particular fic that you have from recent times and from high school times that you want me to read, if you want me to focus on, like, one from each time. Like, I know you have some Palia fics. I forgot what else was there. And then the old ones, I don't know which ones you want me to do, so just let me know. Watch one of us finds Bishi's long-lost fanfic. Oh my god. Oh my god. I don't think you would find my old fanfics when I was younger. But it is possible if you read fanfic on AO3, you might have seen mine from like earlier this year, yeah. Yes, Paleofix. I believe it is about Soup Boy. We will definitely read that one. But we were joking about that actually. We did make that joke where, oh, what if someone submitted my fic? Because it's anonymous. I don't have my username attached to it. It's a secret. But it'd be really funny. She's gonna slide in one of their fics and act like it's a random submission. Oh my god. No. It's too on the nose. It's too risky. Yeah, we'll start with the Pirate Majima. Soup Boy, I am Sat, yes. Okay, is there anything I need to talk about? I don't think so. We do have some polls for y'all to vote on while I am doing my Majima fanfic reading ASMR. I think we're voting for day 10 now of games. There's a bunch of new suggestions. We're always open to more suggestions if anyone has any ideas for games that you want added to the next poll. But there you go. Day 9, the winner was Signalis? I don't know how to say it. That one. That will be day 9. Yeah. Bishi concealing their fic is giving me ND Stevenson flashbacks. I don't know that reference. It's a secret. It's a secret, okay? You might read it, you might not. You might find it, you might not. It's okay. If I had to attach my name, I never would have posted it. This way, you know, it's under a pseudonym. You'll never know. Time to submit my collection of Zoro Sanji fics. Hey, that'd be fine. Like I said, any fandom is okay. I know a lot of us love Yakuza, so there's a lot of Yakuza submissions. I think it's only Yakuza right now. Well, no, I'm wrong. Aenne has Palia and stuff. It's mostly Yakuza. That's okay, but also it doesn't have to be. Don't feel dishy buff. Yeah. That'll work. That'll definitely work. For all we know, the fic doesn't exist and Bishi's messing with us. I love that. From when N.D. Stevenson, the She-Ra reboot showrunner, oh! Said he had a fic somewhere and the fandom was feral for like 2 days. Oh, I didn't hear about that. I did watch She-Ra, but I didn't know about that. That would be 1000% funnier. Yeah. I just sent y'all on a wild goose chase for no reason. Maybe that is the truth. Maybe you found me out. We don't know. We don't know. Okay, mine is Palia Dragon Age, When the Night Comes, and High School is Gundam Wing, FF7, and Fushigi Yugi. I've heard of Gundam Wing. I'm most familiar with FF7, so if I had to pick one, I'd probably go with the FF7 one. And then I definitely want to read the Palia ones. Oh, but someone wants Dragon Age. Okay. I might have to do the Dragon Age one. Okay. Should we start? By the way, 18 plus is fine. We are 18 plus here. If you're a little like, ugh, how explicit is this gonna be? I am gonna censor some stuff just for my own comfort. I don't really want my voice on the internet saying some of these horrendous things. Not horrendous. Explicit things, you know? So sound effects will be used. But, you know, it's up to my own discretion. We'll see. Wish I had access to the old ff.net fics I used to hoard from my school days. Oh my god. There'd be some random stuff in there. You think I was supposed to see? No, I corrected myself. I corrected myself to explicit. What I meant. Some of these fics get real explicit. Real explicit. Which is fine. I don't think I want my voice on the internet saying it. You know what I mean? Anyway. It's all good. We're 18 plus here. Yeah, some of these get real saucy, which is great. I held back on some of the things I could have sent you. I can't believe Bishi hates no Sanjay my life. Submit it right now. I will open it up, okay? Oh, all right. I'm excited and also scared. Okay, so we gotta get a fitting playlist here. So we're gonna read a Yakuza fanfic first. Let's see. Gotta be ready. Let's see. What do I got on speed dial here? We've got a couple good songs we could do when things start getting steamy. We have that. Let's see. We have that. We have that. I haven't read any of these, by the way. They're all submissions that I have not read ahead of time, okay? Alright, but since we haven't gotten into the steamy yet, Panda did provide a playlist of sub-story music from Yakuza. If we're not reading a Yakuza fic, I'll change it to something else, you know? It doesn't have to all be Yakuza. Is that volume alright? That looks okay. Alright. We've got this just on a playlist here, so... let's loop the playlist. Okay. Alright. That is so unwise. This is gonna be... I want to be just as surprised as you are, chat. Okay? Ridiculously niche is okay. I don't have to know the characters. I'm just gonna make up their personalities in my head. But it's up to you. If you don't want to submit something, that's also okay. No worries. Play Sea Shanty 2 from RuneScape the whole time. I'll get a copyright strike somehow. All right, let's see. I will do credits. So this first fic is called The Last of the Sea Men, as in men from the sea. Okay. All right. By Dog Up on the Roof on AO3. I'm not gonna read the summary. We go in like pirates. No tag reading. No, nothing. Okay, hold on. All right. Kiryu sighed as he walked through the threshold of Aqua Sky, seeing his 2 drinking partners already settled at the bar. Kiryu silently sat down next to Saejima and Daigo. It had been 6 months since Majima came home from Hawaii. Due to circumstances unknown to either of the 3 men seated, Majima had gone overboard during a work trip. The ship had wrecked and left presumably no survivors. He'd washed up in Hawaii and found himself at the center of a pirate plot. Having no memories made Majima able to slip into that role easily. After 2 weeks of this, Majima was able to recover his memories, solve whatever problem he had been confronted with, and was able to be driven home on a ship, a pirate ship, captained by a father and son. I love how the game is just like, he's a pirate and shit happened. He figured it out. Nobody asked any questions, and Majima, dressed like a cartoon pirate, didn't say anything about it. So, we're gonna mention the elephant in the room, right? Saejima mumbled to the men as Kiryu was handed his usual drink. At first, they chalked it up to trauma. Good old trauma! The 6 months leading up to this event were rough on the man, having moved outposts with his sworn brother and former 6th chairman to Okinawa to be closer to Kiryu. Now that he'd been getting treatment and seeing Kiryu deteriorate from the chemo and the radiation had been hard on the man, so when Majima decided to take an extended job at sea without Daigo or Saejima, nobody asked any questions. Kiryu dropped Majima off at port with a kiss. Aww! And watched him embark on his journey, expecting only a week apart. When he saw the shipwreck over the news, it almost killed him. After over 2 months, he'd finally got the call from Majima that he'd survived without much more than a few scrapes and a temporary bout of amnesia. Kiryu had been so overjoyed that he'd asked no questions, begging Majima to come home. I have so much to tell you when you come home, Kiryu said wetly. Okay. I have so much to tell you when you come home, Kiryu said wetly. Unable to stop the sobs of relief when he heard the voice of his lost love. Just please get home. I thought I lost you just when I got you back. Bilge! Majima cackled. His voice sounded artificially ragged and scratchy. Bilge! Kiryu didn't care and gave a wet laugh. What? Why is he wet already? Chalking it up to the phone. I think by wet they mean like he's been crying. Chalking it up to the phone. All this talk of my death is merely scuttlebutt. I lost the old marbles, but like a siren, I found myself to her with haste. Kiryu hadn't known what the hell Majima said, but the fact it was him saying it made him not question it. Just come home, sailor. Aye, aye. Majima hung up and Kiryu didn't think anything of what he'd heard. No thoughts, head empty. Kiryu stood at the docks at his time of arrival with Saejima, Daigo, and Haruka, seeing a large pirate ship approach the dock. They heard him before they saw him. Land ho! What did he call us? Saejima grunted. Kiryu didn't respond as Majima made his way down the ramp. He waved goodbye to the captain of the ship as it pulled out of port quickly, almost as if the inhabitants were happy to be rid of him. As he walked down the ramp, Kiryu noticed his new outfit immediately. A long purple and black leather pirate overcoat had taken over his trademark snakeskin jacket, or even the down jacket he'd worn to sea. Majima sprinted to the small group, wrapping his arms around Kiryu's waist first, dropping the suitcase he'd been carrying. It's like a movie. The other man immediately grabbed his pirate-clad lover's face, pulling him into a kiss. For a second, it felt like they were the only two on the planet. I missed you so much, Kiryu whispered. I'm just so happy you're safe. Ah, it'll take more than a choppy sea and a kraken to keep me away from ya! Majima cackled, pulling away and greeting his brother with a hug. Happy you're back, bro, Saejima said, squeezing Majima tightly. I ain't gonna kiss you, though. Majima cackled again. As he greeted Daigo and Haruka, pulling away quickly. Let's get back to the vessel. I brought you guys some treasures. Majima had some small trinkets stuffed into his pockets, handing Saejima a large stone, which he seemed delighted over. Something for my collection. Daigo was handed a small dagger, much to his delight. I'm going to take this out fishing with me. Thank you, Majima-san. He stepped away to inspect the blade and slashed at the air like a child with a new toy. I found you this. I know you ain't a jewelry maiden. However, maiden? Majima handed her a pearl necklace. Got the pearls myself. Someone else threaded them. Ah! Are we back? Sorry about that. Sorry. He stepped away to inspect. Let me see. Oh, okay. Daigo just got a knife as a gift. He stepped away to inspect the blade and slash at the air like a child with a new toy. I found you this. I know you ain't a jewelry maiden, however, Majima handed her a pearl necklace. Got the pearls myself. Someone else threaded them. Uncle Majima, this is beautiful. Thank you. I'll wear this forever. She put the necklace on with Kiryu's help. Haruto made you this, by the way. She reached into her purse and handed a drawing of a fish with an eye patch. I will guard this with every ounce of honor a sea dog such as myself could muster. Majima took it as if it was breakable. Glad you like it, Haruka said with an ounce of concern for his newfound speech pattern, but didn't think she should bring it up. Speaking of the young lad, Majima handed a gold coin to Haruka, who was surprised by the weight. I'll be sure to give it to him. I know he wanted to be here. I'll be sure to give it to him. I know he wanted to be here. We all missed you very much. Touchy remembered an old dog like me, he chuckled. We better be off before the tide comes in. Kiryu agreed hesitantly. The group said goodbye to each other once Daigo realized he needed to stop his shadow knife fight in the background, leaving with Saejima and Haruka. Kiryu and Majima held hands as they walked to the car, the only one left in the lot. Oh, they're all alone. Majima tried to get into the driver's seat of Kiryu's sedan before Kiryu shook his head. Majima never drove, he sucked at it. You're probably too used to the sea, Goro. Why don't you sit passenger? Kiryu tried gently, but Majima shook his head. Unlikely. Relax, Kiryu-chan. Captain Goro Majima of the Seven Seas will drive this beautiful woman home. Did you just call me a woman? Kiryu asked, wondering if this was Majima or an alien that had crash-landed instead. This song! Nay, I'm speaking of the vessel we're sitting in. This luxurious Nissan Altima. One thing I learned, fair Kazuma, is a fine sea vessel's always a woman. You're always a woman to me. Kiryu blinked at him. Whatever. You know what? Sure. The name was sweet enough, and he was choosing to pick his battle here. Kiryu walked around and got into the passenger seat as Majima drove home. A 13-minute drive took at least a week of his life. Can you even see with that hat on? Kiryu asked, white-knuckling the oh shit handle. The brim of his large pirate hat seemed to shadow his remaining eye. Like this. A good captain doesn't need to see the seas, fair Kazuma. He feels it in his bones. In the cockles of his heart. The what? For the remaining 10-minute drive, Kiryu was the most religious man in Japan, praying to every god he could think of. Avast! Majima screeched, breaking Kiryu from his prayers, which had moved to Xenu. He looked up and saw their home, safe and sound. He was satisfied with himself. I knew you could do it, Kiryu said plainly, going to open the door before he felt a hand on his shoulder. Halt, fair Kazuma! Wait! Majima threw the door open and slid across the hood, the leather of the jacket causing friction, and Majima flailed as he hit the pavement. He quickly got up and opened the door for Kiryu. He closed the car door and raced to the front door, opening that for Kiryu next. What a gentleman. What a gentleman. I see Anna's... Anna tried to say something. And chat wouldn't let us say it. Oh my god. Yeah, okay, he opened the front door for Kiryu. Thank you, Kiryu chuckled. This is unnecessary, but I'm so glad you're home. He pulled Majima in for another kiss. When the door shut. Tell me, what I miss? Kiryu started with the little stuff. Haruto aced a test he thought he'd fail. Sajima had a date that never called him back. Doctor said I'm officially in remission. Oh! Majima jumped up in the air, a mix of joy and relief on his face. Shiver me timbers, fairest Kazuma! That news is better than clear skies and smooth waters! In a flash, Majima pulled Kiryu flush against him. His mouth was on Kiryu's, and he just melted into him. I missed you so much, Kiryu said softly against his lips. I missed you more than a sailor missed the salty sea air! Kiryu found it endearing as the two continued kissing. The brim of Majima's huge hat started tapping Kiryu's eyebrow, which he ignored for the first few times. After a few minutes of tapping, Kiryu pulled away. Can we take the hat off? Kiryu didn't wait before he lifted the hat off and tossed it to the side. Kiryu immediately ran his fingers through Majima's long hair, tilting his head to take a look at him. Is it time? Oh my god, it's time! It's time! It's time! It's time! The two ended up kissing on the nearby couch soon. Kiryu's hands roamed Majima's warm skin as he moved to kiss down his neck. His hand slipped down to Majima's waistband, smirking against his skin, when he found something of interest. Already pretty. Kiryu commented softly, pulling back a bit. That's me sword! Kiryu pulled back all the way to see the hilt of Majima's cutlass, the sheathed blade resting against the sofa. So it is, Kiryu mumbled, bringing his hand back and sliding it to the other side, finding a stiff cylinder under his hand. He leaned in and gave it a gentle squeeze. It felt like a hard plastic. That's me spyglass. Okay, you know what? Kiryu took a deep, calming breath, his temper rising. Okay. Kiryu tried to focus on the fact Majima was home, not that Kiryu was about to send his ass back to sea. Everything okay? Majima asked, his hand coming out to gently stroke Kiryu's arm. We ain't gotta do anything if you don't wanna. Something about the gentle tone of voice and the touch brought Kiryu back to task. I do. Just... Kiryu looked at what he was doing as he slid his hand across Majima's groin, giving a gentle squeeze and feeling a body part. Majima gave a satisfied grunt. That's me! Thank Neptune for that. Kiryu tried not to sound as sarcastic. He knew Majima wasn't doing this on purpose. He didn't know what happened out there, and if this helped the love of his life assimilate back to the land, he could take having... with Patchy the pirate for a little while. You're wearing too much. Kiryu tried to push past this. He helped Majima shrug out of his jacket and undid his belt. Once the man had shed all his clothes, his pants and underwear falling to the ground with a loud clang. What is the underwear made of? Metal? Kiryu grabbed his narrow hips and guided him to lie back on the couch. Kiryu shed his own shirt and settled at his side, sucking a hickey onto his throat. Damn. His hand slowly made its way to Majima's hard... Exactly. Giving a few test strokes. Aye, I like that swordplay, fairest Kazuma. Kiryu didn't say anything, pulling up from Majima's throat to press a kiss to his lips again to keep his mouth busy. It seemed to work as Majima panted and whimpered against his mouth. Just like that, Majima panted. Please! Music to Kiryu's ears as he rewarded the normal speech with faster movements. I missed you. Kiryu leaned over and nipped at his earlobe. Had he always had an earring? Majima reached up with a shaky hand and slid off his snake-emblazoned eye patch, revealing an identical second one underneath it, which he quickly knocked off his face as well. Oh shit, my music. Hold on, my music. Oh no. Oh no, my music. Oh, my music. Oh no, my music. My music. Oh no. Anyway. Kiryu almost asked, but he didn't want to ruin the moment as his lover's hips bucked off the couch. Kiryu wondered if Majima had kicked the pirate speech habit. There she blows! Majima exclaimed as he painted his stomach and chest with ropes of Kiryu sighed, working him through his moving to kiss him again, and if it made him quiet for a moment, that was a bonus. All right, matey, Majima said when Kiryu took his hands off. Your turn! Oh, that's all right. He wasn't sure if he could stay with a pirate captain. He'd never been much for roleplay. Nonsense! Majima slid bonelessly off the couch, getting on his knees. Let me taste the finest innkeeper worm this side of the shores. All right. At least would keep Majima quiet. Kiryu was sure any day now his lover would revert to his typical Majima Ben. Days turned to weeks. Oh wait, okay. We're past. No more sexy. The sexy's over. Sexy's over. Kiryu was sure any day now his lover would revert to his typical Majima Ben. Days turned to weeks of living with this new Captain Majima. And he wasn't the only one who got the new pirate captain lingo. Everybody was tired of it. Ah! Majima growled at Saejima as he told a story. That's a good one, me hearty! Daigo looked at Kiryu in confusion, who shrugged. Any day now, Kiryu whispered to himself. But the weeks turned to months and he was still in his delusion. The pirate life started taking its toll on their daily life. Kiryu had invited all the kids to come for dinner to celebrate all the recent events, as well as an excuse to be all under the same roof again. Majima had been a welcome addition to the family, the kids grateful that their Uncle Kaz returned. The fact he'd returned with someone that made him happy was just perfect. Majima decided to cook, making some sort of fish stew that was palatable, but Kiryu was grateful Haruka decided to make some side dishes for them. Dinner had been going well, even though Majima was still dressed and talked like a pirate. Taichi, me boy! Majima held up a bottle of brown liquor with no label. Taichi had been the only one brave enough to take him up on the offer for a drink. He hadn't seen Kiryu shaking his head to refuse. How about another swallow of grog? Taichi took a look at the almost full glass of what was likely rubbing alcohol with fear. No thank you, Uncle Majima. He'd taken a sniff of it and almost passed out. Are you sure you don't want to top off? I'm sure. Thanks. Taichi was sure it wasn't condensation on the outside of the glass with the liquor melting through. Suit yourself! Majima quickly stood up from the large dinner table. I'll put this clap of thunder away in the brig! He was out of the kitchen before all eyes were on Kiryu, who was running his fingers through his short hair, which was starting to regrow. Uncle Kaz? What's going on? Haruka asked. It's been 2 months. I don't know. I tried to bring it up, but he got upset, and I don't know. Kiryu took a sip of his iced tea, also refusing to drink whatever toilet hooch Majima made. Back when we were younger and I would go to his annual birthday slumber party. Most of the adults in the room rolled their eyes, fully aware that was not a thing, but willing to pretend to save themselves the mental image. Ah. He'd have a nightmare and wake me up. Didn't he wake everyone else up too? Koji didn't get the message. No, they all wore earplugs. Kiryu was trying not to poke too many holes in the story. Kiryu silently chastised himself for spinning a web of lies before continuing. Anyway, my point is, if this is how he's able to cope, I'm willing to put up with it a little while longer. The children exchanged looks. The music! Clearly having another question all on their minds, but none felt at liberty to ask. I think it's funny, Haruto defended. Uncle Majima's always been silly. Isn't that why we like him? Kiryu smiled warmly at his grandson. That's right. And all he needs is some support. He caught a glimpse of something out the window. If you'll excuse me. Kiryu stood up and crossed the room, opening the door. Goro Majima, put that shovel down! You are not ruining our backyard! Majima dropped the shovel, straightening his large hat. Prepare to walk the plank, landlubber! Majima charged Kiryu with a flying kick, to the amusement of the audience they'd garnered from the inside. That was 3 months ago. Now 6 months into Majima's pirate lifestyle, Kiryu was starting to lose his mind. He was getting worse, Kiryu noted. Majima had always favored single outfits. Having a storage bin full of snakeskin printed jackets he'd now traded in for his single pirate jacket. It was weighing on everybody. Enough so that when it was time for Kiryu, Saejima, Daigo, and Majima to meet up for a few drinks, Saejima asked Kiryu to come alone. Look, I love my kyodai, but I'm getting past my limits. Just last week, Saejima came by for dinner. Majima had traded in his cigarettes for a tobacco pipe. Please. Daigo took a sip of his martini, almost like he was drinking to cope. For lunch last week, he brought an entire bag of oranges. He made me eat 3 of them to fight off scurvy. I don't have fucking scurvy. Neither does he. Kiryu sighed, swirling his whiskey around in his glass. I know. It's taxing on me, too. I have to live with him. Last month he asked me if he could get a parrot. Aye, just think of it, Ferris Kazuma. These birds live many lifetimes over us salty sea dogs. When we pass through Davy Jones' locker, Haruto-kun will have a first mate. That was Majima's sales pitch. He slept on the couch that night. Sometimes with the pirate talk, he's the love of my life. And something bad happened, I recognize that. But last week we were about to go to sleep and he opened his mouth to speak. I just shushed him. Kiryu had no clue what nonsense would spring forward, but it had been a nice moment, and he wouldn't let the Pirate King himself ruin it. I know I'm gonna regret asking. You don't have to answer either. Saejima asked after a beat of silence. Does he do the pirate speak during... Kiryu paused, trying to decide if he wanted to answer. Yes. The bedroom is no exception. Daigo and Saejima winced, sympathetic to his plight. He needs an intervention, Daigo suggested. Saejima nodded in agreement. What do you think, Kiryu-san? Kiryu looked at the two men in conflicted thought. On one hand, it was likely for the best. It was at the point where even Haruto, who once thought the idea of his pirate captain's step-grandfather picking him up from school with twin swords by his side was the coolest thing that's ever happened. Now, he hid in the school until Majima thought he'd missed him walking out and round the corner to check, and he wasn't the only one annoyed by the antics. Even Kiryu was begging for silence in a way he never was before. But on the other side, Kiryu knew that losing his memories on the beach, facing that problem that he still refused to open up about, and the residual burnout from taking care of his sick lover meant that this was probably an episode. And it would end at some point. Majima was a strong man, he told himself. That's why Kiryu fell in love with him. No, I don't want to upset him further and make this a permanent thing. We don't know what he went through. We can only offer support, but nothing else. Kiryu downed his drink and paid for it. If it makes him happy, we should allow it. Ignoring his psychotic break won't solve the problem, Kiryu-san, Daigo snapped. He needs to see that this has gone on long enough. Kiryu narrowed his eyes at Daigo and said nothing, turning and walking out, heading home. Majima was home, waiting for Kiryu when he returned. Avast, my first mate made it home from sea! Majima raced up to kiss him at the door. Hello. Kiryu tried not to think about how Daigo was right. Later on that night, the two made love. Kiryu was... Oh. Okay, hold on. Hold on. He's just a pirate. No big deal. Should we do a quick check-in? How's everyone doing? I haven't been looking at chat. How's everyone doing? Are we having fun? He has the bone that matters. Where does bones go? Ropes of clown horn. On the edge of our seats. Amazing. This is certainly a fic. It's hilarious. Hilarious. Welcome in, Triforce. Oh boy. All right. Later on that night, the two made love. Kiryu was on his knees and elbows with Majima behind him at a fast pace. I can't! Oh, I can't. Okay, hold on. Do you like that? Do you like the way me... feels in your booty? Majima husked into Kiryu's ear. Kazuma, let's calm down, he told himself. He's a good man. Yeah, I do, Kiryu moaned, and he did. Even if it was getting more awkward by the minute, he still enjoyed it. One of the things Kiryu enjoyed so much about Majima was the fact he was a vocal lover. He loved Majima's voice, a sound that hit Kiryu's ear like sandpaper but soothed his soul like cotton. A man he'd spent his life waiting for when they would be able to live unafraid with, to wake up next to make love as loud as they want without the fear of interruption and life ruin, a life in which both men could just be themselves together. You're a good lad, the way you take my... like a well-experienced wench! Pirate love wins. Right now, he just wished that the other man would have a small amount of shame, to quiet down so they didn't make the neighbors think the two men who lived next door had a pirate-themed praise kink. Thanks. Kiryu didn't know what that meant. Anything for the reason my heart cracks like the mighty wind. Somehow, even now, Majima knew how to be charming. He leaned down, kissing along the dragon on his back to get to his neck. Majima's hands were tight on Kiryu's slender waist. He didn't lose the rhythm. As his hips snapped away. Kiryu relaxed into the sensations. For a moment, he could close his eyes and relish in the familiarity. Yes, please. Kiryu squeezed his eyes shut and relaxed. Me, just like that. Until he felt a stiff, soft bump on the back of his head. Are you wearing a hat? Kiryu breathed a humorless laugh as he heard a soft thud on the floor. That's a negative, fairest Kazuma. He wished Majima would call him anything else. He felt the smallest shift in Majima's hips, certain the other man was reaching for the hat again. He couldn't hold in his sigh. I want to be on my back. Majima Majima stroked as Kiryu shifted. Aye, you look good on your back, you scallywag. Thanks. After Kiryu was settled and Majima was back in place, setting a slower pace, Kiryu took his face in both hands, running his thumb under the man's sewn-shut eye. That's so good, Goro. Just like that. It felt normal again. It felt nice. Majima moaned in response, focusing more on his movements than speaking. He opened his mouth to speak again. Kiryu quickly slid his hand down his lover's jaw and slid his thumb into Majima's mouth. Oh. Which he eagerly sucked on when the pad pressed down on his tongue. Shh. Stop talking. It was just the sound of skin slapping and the wordless sounds of pleasure ringing in the room. I'm so close! Kiryu arched his back off the bed as Majima struck his over and over. Hi, I ain't far behind ya! His voice sounded more similar to his normal tone and cadence than his scratchy, salty pirate he'd been speaking with. Kiryu slid his hand into Majima's hair and softly cupped his scalp, pulling him in and pressed his forehead against his lover, looking deep into his eye, his free hand stroking his... as he... with a cry, the most powerful he'd had since long before Majima had been declared missing. Keep going. I want you to... Me. Kiryu requested, which was not met with any parley. Gonna run a shot across the bow, Majima stammered out, the pirate voice coming back. Sure. Whatever you say. Kiryu waved off, the overstimulation starting to turn to a pleasant heat of pressure. You're my greatest treasure, Majima... Where's my music? Majima managed to grunt out before he threw his head back. The grunts turning to loud moans. Yo-ho! Yo! Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not doing this justice. Hold on. Yo-ho! Yo-ho! Majima shuddered. As he... Kiryu had finally had enough. Shiver me timbers. The last of the seamen have walked the plank into the briny deep. Majima panted, flopping next to his boyfriend, whose face began turning a shade of red it had never been before. If you'll excuse me, Kiryu said tensely, quickly getting up and putting his underwear back on. I think I heard my phone ringing. He excused, not looking back as Majima shouted, "A fair wind!" behind him. Kiryu unlocked his phone and walked into the furthest room of the modest house, calling Saejima. What's up, bro? Are you in danger? You're breathing like one of those pug dogs. Kiryu ignored the question. Be at my house for an intervention tomorrow evening. He didn't leave any time for a response, hanging up and making his way back into bed. What do you say we go for a second round in a bit? Majima smirked, the hat back on his head. Kiryu didn't respond, just batted the hat off his head and slammed down on his side, facing away. Good night. Tomorrow couldn't come any sooner. Oh my god. Kiryu went out in the morning to go run errands, so he said. He got home during the early evening, but not alone. Alright. Kiryu stood outside the front door, his voice low. So, you're sure he's not expecting us? Saejima whispered, looking behind at the medium group of people. All of the residents, former and current, of the Morning Glory Orphanage, Saejima, Daigo, and Akiyama stood outside. Damn, they got everybody! Thanks again for coming, Akiyama-san. Hadako was grateful they had another ally on their side. Nonsense. After what you said, I'm worried about him too. He was looking for the kindest words. Are you sure this isn't just a cover-up for an affair? If only it were that easy, Kiryu muttered, unlocking the door and pushing it open. Avast! Has my fairest Kazuma returned from the outpost? Majima shouted from the kitchen. Single file, Kiryu whispered behind him, walking into the house. Yes, darling, it's me. I made... Oh! Ahoy, landlubbers! How are you, scallywags? Majima walked into the room, dressed in a red and gold waistcoat and linen pants, a different hat with a large feather stuck in it, almost as obnoxious as his neckerchief tied around his throat. Excuse my appearance, I had a job interview. I'm in me formals. Applied to teach sailing at Nanyo Country Club. Are you even qualified for that, Majima-san? Yuta asked. Kiryu interrupted to stop his son-in-law from engaging. I wouldn't worry about that. Let's all sit down. Majima sat down on the sofa, Kiryu and Saejima sitting on either side of him. The others settled in a circle around him. What's happening right now? Majima asked, the pirate delusion breaking for a moment before he doubled down. Are there some bilge rats after you treasures? What you waiting for? Drop anchor! No, there isn't. The pirate thing has to end, Kiryu said gently, his hand on his lover's knee. It's gone on too long and gone too far. I'm sorry I let it get this bad, but we all agree something needs to be done. Huh? All of yous? Majima looked around at the concerned faces of his loved ones. I'm as fine as the details on the side of my ship! What does that even mean, Kyodai? You're just saying shit now. Saejima snapped. It hurts to see you like this. We miss the old you. Majima looked at the others. What do you mean too far? You be exaggerating. Why don't we all go around the room and tell the captain what we mean? Saejima earned a smack to the back of his head. You get sent home at least once a week for challenging somebody to a duel. You're a 60-year-old man getting bullied at work, Daigo explained. I can't keep defending you, dude. Dude? And beyond that, it's gotten to the point where even Nishida won't take your calls. Nishida. Before Majima could follow up, the line continued. Uncle Majima, Izumi started. When you got back, I thought the pirate thing was strange, but I was able to get past it. We love you and how happy you make Uncle Kaz, though sometimes it's just embarrassing. You walked into the firehouse last week and swung around the fire pole. We had to physically stop you from climbing on top of the truck because you said the ladders reminded you of a crow's nest. Taichi reminded him. Uncle Kaz had to take you home. You tried to write a letter to Sabrina Carpenter to recruit her for your crew because you heard the line "Me Espresso" and thought she was a pirate. What the fuck? Shiro still had the letter in his desk after translating it to English, afraid to send it and have it be misconstrued as a threat for her to join piracy. Aye, did she respond? Majima asked decidedly. Kiryu gave a comforting squeeze to his knee and shook his head. 2 months ago, I was on a date, and he took me to karaoke. Well, we saw you there with Uncle Kaz. We ended up in the room across from you. You were on your third sea shanty before he made a comment that I had to end the date, Riona recounted, still cringing at the experience. Aye, seems like I saved ye hide from a siren sent to kill, Majima beamed with pride. Ye be welcome. I love it when you come to my baseball games with everyone, Uncle Majima, but when you threatened to have my coach shipped off to sea? Mitsuo looked away, tears in his eyes. We want you to be okay. We want the old Uncle Majima back. Majima whipped his head around so fast the feather in his cap brushed Kiryu's nose and made him sneeze. You can't all feel that way. Haruto, me boy. Majima leaned forward to the young man. What do ye think? Haruto looked up at Haruka first, Yuta second, and then Kiryu last, all giving him a soft, encouraging nod. I'm becoming the weird pirate boy at school. They're calling me Heave Haruto, he admitted quietly. Yuta and Haruka both stroked his back. And we're not saying it's your fault, Uncle Majima. Haruka tried to be diplomatic about it, but Yuta wasn't having it. But it is. Majima had a quick look of shame on his face, looking at Akiyama. What's your problem with a sea dog like me? Akiyama shrugged. I'm mostly here to hang out. Can I smoke in here? It'd been 10 minutes, which was the longest he'd been without a cigarette in a while. Dude. Koji motioned to Kiryu and Haruto, which made Akiyama jump a bit, embarrassed. Sorry, where are my manners? Akiyama quickly offered a cigarette to Haruto, but Haruka snatched the pack away before he could refuse them. I'd like to speak if possible. Kiryu cleared his throat, getting everybody's attention. Majima's head turned to look at the speaker. I love you so much, and I was able to put up with this for the last half a year because I was telling myself that this was better to just see if it would run out the clock, but it's not. It's getting worse. Kiryu took both Majima's now shaking hands. He's fucking shaking! Rubbing his thumbs over his knuckles. Goro Majima, you are the love of my life. I've waited my whole life for what we have right now. But I cannot have another hardtack biscuit. And when we're intimate, Kiryu said as he saw Haruka quickly cover her young son's ears, and Daigo's hands covering Haruka's ears. Kiryu ignored the movement, continuing. It takes me out of it when you're making love to me and you're talking about ships and wenches. I miss the sweet things you'd say to me. Kiryu tried to keep his voice lower, seeing a few of the other kids cover their ears. Paris, Kazuma, I apologize if I've offended ya. Majima was starting to shift in his seat. I didn't think it was that off-putting. Goro, you yelled yo-ho before you... Saejima cackled before covering his mouth, something he regretted when Majima stood up suddenly. I need a stroll. He stormed out of the house. Now look what you did, you big moron, Daigo sighed. You hurt his feelings. His hand dropped from Haruka's head and smacked Saejima's ankle from where he was sitting. His ankle? I'm sorry, Kiryu-san. I should go after him. Kiryu grabbed Saejima's wrist to stop him. He can be alone for a moment. I think it'll be good for him. Kiryu sighed, standing up. How about we all come back to Morning Glory for dinner? It's about that time. Quiet, muttered agreement fell over the crowd as they all filed out of the house. Kiryu spent most of his evening there, spending time with his friends and family. Despite the comfortable company, it still felt like something was missing. Kiryu was worried about Majima. His mind kept drifting to his partner, wondering where he'd gone if he was okay. Daigo dropped Kiryu off at home. Akiyama decided to stay a few days at Morning Glory in the spare bedroom, now that most of the orphans moved into their apartments and houses. Let me know what happens with Majima-san, please, Daigo requested, a concerned look on his face, matching Kiryu's. I just hope this wasn't a mistake. Kiryu sighed. Yeah, me too. He got out of the car and went inside, hearing the television on in the bedroom. Goro? Kiryu called in the Genken, taking his shoes off and walking slowly towards the noise. I'm in here, Kazi, Majima called, the sound of tape ripping off the roll. Unlike before, his voice was back to what Kiryu always remembered his lover sounding like. He made it into the bedroom, seeing Majima shirtless in a pair of flannel pajama pants, kneeling in the closet. Hey, what you up to? Kiryu watched as Majima picked up the box he was taping up, offering to help, but Majima shook his head. I did some thinking, and y'all were right. The pirate shit's annoying. I was doing it to cope, and I'm sorry. Majima sighed, boxing it all up and putting it away. Can't say I'm gonna miss it. Kiryu gave a soft, sympathetic noise as Majima shoved the box at the top of the closet. Nothing to be sorry about. You want to talk about what happened? What gave you this eureka moment? Well, I took a walk by the water. Thought that would calm my nerves. I saw a bunch of people gathered dressed like pirates. Thought I'd join them. They were talking to me the way I was talking to y'all, and then they started singing sea shanties I didn't know. They were swaying to the music and passing around a bottle of rum, and I joined them for a half second before I realized... This is fucking stupid! Majima cackled. And I'm not a pirate. I'm an ex-yakuza. Anyway, someone tried to take my eye patch off, and I panicked and kicked them off the dock. Majima stopped when he saw the shocked expression. He quickly changed course. They're fine. I got him out. Anyway, I just want you to forgive me. I'll call everybody else later, but I love you, Kazuma. I'm sorry I scared you. Kiryu smiled softly, brushing his hair away from his face. I forgive you. Majima's soft smile became a smirk. Now I believe we got something we gotta correct. He leaned in, wrapping his arms around Kiryu's neck. Aye, aye, Captain. Kiryu chuckled, but Majima pulled away. Too soon. Kiryu chastised himself. Should have known better. 2 weeks later, Kiryu and Majima were sitting and having lunch together, having a quiet conversation when Majima's phone started ringing. Yo, go for Majima, he answered gruffly, leaning back. The other person talked for a bit before Majima interrupted him. Nah, I ain't about that pirate shit anymore. Thanks. I'm sticking with what I know. Gonna be me for a while. After that, Majima hung up and wrapped an arm around his shoulders, picking up his lunch with his free hand to take a bite. Who was that? Kiryu asked, relaxing into his touch. That was the country club. They offered me the job. Probably not a good idea. Kiryu shook his head. That's a safe bet. Glad to have you back. He paused. Just out of curiosity, how much were they gonna pay you? 14 million yen a year, Majima waved off. Kiryu's jaw was hard set for a second before he relaxed. Maybe their sanity was worth more than money. The end! The end. What do we think? What do we think of that? That took like 30 minutes. Oh my god. I think we are gonna have to be selective with the fics. It actually takes a minute. Do we like that? Yippee! Was he just doing this for shits and giggles? He was doing it to cope. Oh yeah, hardtack. Mm-hmm. I diagnosed you with piratitis. Smoking addict Akiyama. 30 minutes well spent. Why is Akiyama here? They had everybody. Sabrina Carpenter. That's me, Espresso, you landlubber. Oh my god. The pirate intervention. Some of the music fit really well, huh? That was really funny. That was your first fanfic reading. That's amazing. It was an experience. That was an amazing first fanfic to hear out loud. Wow. Cope with what? Who knows? Whatever happened in Hawaii. That was all one fic? It was kind of a long one, yeah. Kind of a long one. I think the next one we're gonna do is a fic from Aenne. Let's do a Palia one. We can do a different fandom. And then we'll do maybe one of Ruuvo's. And then one of Oni's. And we'll kind of like go in order like that. That way, we get a little bit from everybody. Has anyone else submitted fanfics while I was not looking at chat, by the way? The lines Bishi didn't read were insane. Yeah, I did say the title and an author at the beginning, so I will do that so that y'all can go and read them if you'd like. Yeah, maybe we should be paying attention to the word count. Okay, let's see. What's the fic from Aenne that I should read? Ooh, some of these are long. Maybe is it like multiple chapters? Maybe I could just do one? Which one do you want me to do, Aenne? Let me see. There's 1 week till the Renaissance Fair is one of them. I swear to God, I was logged in. Oh, there we go. Okay. Okay, I think this is multiple chapters. Okay. Is there a particular chapter, Aenne, that you want me to read? Give me a juicy one. Made sure to send one-offs that were like 2K or less. Okay. That is helpful. I may have sent you too many fics. It's okay. I would rather have too many than not enough. Same goes for you, Ruuuvo. If there's a fic in particular you think I should read, resend it. Just got back. That's okay. You have perfect timing. I'm about to read one of yours. So I just wanted to know if there's a particular chapter from like 1 week till the Renaissance Fair you want me to read, maybe. Or if you want me to read the other Palia one. I'm probably just gonna do one chapter. Because that other fic took 30 minutes. Sent only one-offs, but their word count's all over the place. That's fine. I did see there was a Ryoma one. So I might do that one. I never measured fics in read aloud time, so this is a fun new metric, right? Like voiced fanfictions. That's also with like dramatic pauses. Don't care. What do people... Do you have any juicy chapters? You know what I'm saying? There was a couple Ryoma fics. Okay. I think I said I would do one of yours next. And then one from Oni. And we'll kind of go in order that way. Let me see how many chapters there are. The Dragon Age is all smut? Alright, we're doing Dragon Age. I did want to read a Palia one, though. Let's see. Juicy, gooey, wet chapters. Oh my god. This one's rated mature. All smut? That one's next. We've got one with Solus. And I believe this one is... I don't know these characters. Maybe I should do the one with Solus. I've heard of Solus before. I don't go to Dragon Age, but I know of it. The juicy chapter is 12 in Palia. Okay, let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do it. Sorry to skip ahead. All the build-up. I'm sorry. I should honestly sit down and read this whole thing. Did you have like a slow burn going on? Oh yes, the last chapter. Spoilers! The Dragon Age one was, there was one with Solus. And then the other one was, oh my god. I didn't recognize the characters' names. It is a slow burn. We're skipping the slow burn. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay. Oh my god, I forgot. This is like self-insert. Oh my... Oh, it's not done! Okay, nice. Alright. Okay. This is a Palia fic. Not the Uwu- Oh my... The Uwu voice? Okay. Alright, let's get the sexy music started. Oh no, self-insert is totally fine. That's fine. Okay. This is a Palia fic. The video game Palia. With, Reth X player character. Gel X player character. Alright. Never apologize. I have to do Uwu voice. I'm so sorry. Let me set a timer. I'm so sorry. Peach was lying mostly naked on the massage table. The Majiri woman had instructed her to get as comfortable as she wanted, and so she had, casting everything off her body but her panties. She'd climbed under the courtesy blanket to keep warm while she waited, and what the calming sound of water bubbling from a small fountain filled the room. I'm so sorry. She was left alone with her thoughts, a dangerous thing given everything Peach had gone through today. She couldn't escape the guilt she felt for giving in to her desires. It ate at her as much as the lust did. Her heart pounded in her chest as she calculated how she was going to keep in control for the rest of this trip. She needed to be hyper-vigilant, strong. Deep down in her core, she knew she couldn't be. Not with Reth. Not... Reth?
Not with the memory of his body leaning closer to hers, his breath on her skin. They were at a breaking point. Having already thrown caution to the wind, she knew their next interactions would change everything. But what if those interactions never happen? If she could just avoid him, at least for a few days, until the ignited flame inside her petered out. Then maybe she could convince herself to forget about the almost kiss that shouldn't have been. An ironic chuckle left her lips as Peach realized she would be taking a page from her sweet sister's book. Perhaps Kiwi could even give her some pointers on how to absolutely avoid the person you want to be around most. Her anxious thoughts were interrupted by the creak of the door opening. The startling sound cleared her mind, giving her brain a reprieve to focus on something else. She listened to the footfalls of the masseuse as they walked closer to where she lay. The footsteps stopped and Peach could feel a presence looming over her. As the masseuse pulled down the blanket to expose her skin, the cool womb, air prickled goosebumps along her back. She heard a lid twisting off its container and hitting a wooden surface, most likely being the long dresser where the water fountain sat. The smell of lavender permeated the room, combined with the smack of hands rubbing together, slick with oil. Peach took a deep breath as two strong hands found her back. The greasy coating on the masseuse's fingers worked its way into her skin as they kneaded away the tension in her muscles. The masseuse's hands had a certain roughness to them, even covered in a viscous lotion could not conceal all the calluses, but it didn't detract from the bliss that was taking over. In fact, there was some sort of familiarity about the motions of the masseuse's technique, prompting Peach to ease into that comfort, completely ignoring her worries from before. For a while, she could forget about Weth. She could forget about the storm of emotions in her heart. She could ignore the upcoming Renaissance fair. She could relax. While Kiwi changed her clothes in the restroom, Tish, through the door, informed her that Gel was beaming with so much anticipation to go to the tailor shop that they would get a head start and meet them outside. Not thinking anything of it, Kiwi agreed and quickly slipped into a short-sleeved white waist-up peasant top chemise with an overdress that had a matching pattern, a reddish-brown belt to cinch her waist, thin tights, laced-up boots to match her belt, and finally, a dainty flowered pattern bandana in her hair. Work. Exiting the restroom, Twish was nowhere to be seen. Kiwi assumed her friend had made her way out of the inn and to the end of the street as expected. With nothing left to do, she followed suit. As Kiwi left through the front doors, she turned down the street and found Gel standing alone, staring at his pocket watch. Once he noticed her, he perked up slightly and waved.
Is Tish in one of the shops?
Kiwi asked. Oh wait, that was Kiwi, I'm sorry. Is Tish in one of the shops? Kiwi asked as she approached the tailor. Her deep blue eyes looked past him to try and spot the carpenter. Gel looked a little confused as he followed Kiwi's line of sight and then looked back towards the inn.
How much time I got? Like 30 seconds. Oh. She said she wasn't going to join us. Did she not tell you?
Gel asked, realizing that Tish had done this on purpose, probably to give them some alone time. He wasn't sure whether to thank the carpenter or scorn her. Regardless, as his eyes met the curly-haired human, a comforted feeling washed over him. It'd be nice to solely hold her attention, even if it was just for a little bit.
And the timer is done. Scene transition. Oh. Deep blue eyes. Deep blue eyes. Oh god, okay. Kiwi blinked and flushed slightly, coming to the same conclusion Gel had, that they had been set up and it was just the two of them for this outing. For a fleeting moment, she considered going back to drag Tish along, like she had originally promised, but awkwardness churned her insides. She couldn't refuse to go alone now that she was here. She shrugged, determined to make the most of the alone time she had with Gel. They were in a cute town, away from their norm. Why not make the most of it? No, she said she was going to meet us out here. Kiwi smiled sheepishly, watching Gel's jaw drop slightly at having been fooled. She continued on. So I guess it's just you and me for this escapade, unless you think I make for an awful buffer. She offered an out in case he really didn't trust his ability to tell himself no on spending. The tailor closed his mouth and smiled lightly. I could never think of you as an awful buffer, he replied, and looked around for the direction of the shop. He was aware of the direction it was in, but he wanted to give Kiwi the chance to lead the way to keep her mind from sitting and growing anxious again. Kiwi watched Gel look around before she pointed in the direction of the shop and gestured towards it. It's this way, she smiled, taking a step in the right direction. Good with the sewing needle and directions. My, Kiwi, is there anything you cannot do? Gel stepped in line with Kiwi, matching her pace. With their height difference, one of Gel's normal paces was easily 2 of Kiwi's own, and he didn't want to have her trail behind him like the first time they took a stroll around Fisherman's Lagoon. Lore. Poor Kiwi had been too polite to ask him to slow down, and he ended up a quarter loop ahead of her before he realized. Gel's hands behind his back, he proudly walked alongside Kiwi in an untroubled silence. The masseuse's— oh, sorry. The masseuse's hands carefully and firmly worked their way all over Peach's back, kneading out the knots in her shoulders, taking note of her stress points and the sections of flesh their fingertips seemed to tickle. They worked diligently, methodically. And Peach hadn't felt this relaxed in such a long time. It was heaven. She felt light, like laying on clouds, not weighed down by worry or strife. Her mind melted away from her body, a state of bliss somewhere between wakefulness and slumber, an imageless dream still attuned to her senses, and she didn't want it to end. A brief thought drifted through her consciousness. She'd have to thank Reth for this. Or do we mean Weth? He deserved that much, even though Peach was planning to avoid him. Her mind tingled as the soup chef made his way back into her imagination. She wondered what he was doing right then. Was he also in the middle of a massage? He needed one. He barely slept. As her mind fell further from cognizance, the lucidity of her situation muddled. Peach dreamt of what Reth's hands would feel like upon her skin. Would his touch be gentle and deliberate? Or would he explore with reckless abandon? Would she be able to feel the scars on his fingers as they brushed over her body? The line between reality and dream blurred as the massage continued. Peach wished for the sensation of his hands on her back. She could practically feel it, and it felt so right. Reth. His name escaped unconsciously from her lips. The hands stopped their movements, and the masseuse took in a sharp breath. Hey, babe. Upon hearing Reth's voice so clearly, Peach instantly woke from her half-slumber. Panic jolted through her heart as her mind quickly turned the gears to make sense of the situation. Oh my god. It's a raid! Welcome in. Welcome in. Dramatic song. What's next? What do we got next? More dramatic music. Okay. Welcome in, y'all. Howdy! Thank you so much for that raid, Goblin. Do we have a shout out for Goblin? It'll probably work in a minute. What were you streaming? What were you up to? I hope you had a great stream. Oh, you're playing Palia! Well, what a coincidence. I'm reading some Palia fanfiction right now. These songs are so dramatic. We're gonna start it over. Start it over. Anyway. I'm reading a fanfic dramatically. Today is the dramatic fanfic reading stream. It is written by Aenne. Yes. I am reading all kinds of fanfics. I read a Yakuza one earlier. Now we're reading a fic from Aenne about Reth, and also Kiwi, a friend of Enna's, and Gel. So that's what we're doing at the moment. Welcome in. I am cosplaying as Majima from Yakuza. And if you're new in here, my name is Bishi. I do cosplay now and then. And I play all kinds of games here. I'm not usually doing just chatting ASMR fanfic reading. That's a special thing just for today. But we always have a good time, so that's consistent. Let's see. Do we need more of the sexy song? Let's see. I think we can wait for the sexy song until sexy things start happening again. Okay. Let's get back into it. Upon hearing Reth's voice so clearly, Peach instantly woke from her half-slumber. Panic jolted through her heart as her mind quickly turned the gears to make sense of the situation. There was no way. It couldn't be Reth. But it was his voice, and she knew it. There was no mistake. It was the same jovial, confident tone that greeted her every time she went to Ormu's horn. It was Reth. It had to be. But then realization hit. If Reth was here, then he'd been the one with his hands exploring her, massaging her. Peach froze, not knowing what else to do. She had just promised herself that she was going to avoid him, and how could she now? She tried willing it all away, hoping that it would somehow make him disappear, and her along with it. Even struck with uncertainty, she forced herself to lift her head off the massage table, propping herself up with her arm, looking over her shoulder. There he was, leaning back up against the table with his arms folded in front of his chest, a wild smirk on his face with open, inviting eyes. The prior shock twisted into confusion as Peach continued to process everything. "What are you doing here?" Peach asked with a little more bite to her tone than intended. "Giving you a massage," he stated, so matter-of-factly that he almost convinced himself that those intentions were pure and true. Peach scoffed immediately upon hearing his reasoning, shaking her head. "You don't really expect me to believe you, do you?" Her eyes narrowed, a scowl beginning to curl the corners of her lips. This was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And he was playing it off like it was nothing. This wasn't nothing, was it? Peach desperately tried to find a reason, any reason at all, for Reth to have concocted this absurd stunt. Resting his hands on the table behind him, Reth hung his head back, avoiding Peach's stare by examining the ceiling. "I wasn't lying when I said I wanted to treat you to something nice." His voice carried the same playfulness it normally did when they were flirting. But a temper was rising in Peach's core, confusion morphing into irritation. Reth had deceived her, putting her in a very vulnerable position, knowing and taking advantage of that. No amount of coyness was going to soothe her anger. "And you thought this was the best way to do it?" She quipped back, her voice dripping with accusation. "I thought you might like something a little more personal." Not fazed by Peach's harshness, his gaze dropped to Peach's back, drinking in her defined muscles, the dimples above her hips, and the sheen on her oiled-up skin. Peach saw the hunger in Reth's eyes as they perused her body. She'd forgotten it until right then, that she was very much still mostly nude. Blush crept up to her face, to her cheeks, as she tried to carefully maneuver herself onto her back, pulling up the blanket as a protective shield to not expose any more body parts. "I can't believe this," Peach muttered, holding the blanket up to her chin. "You can't believe I would want to get the most beautiful human woman I know, half naked, alone, and in the same room as me?" He held his head in his hand, shaking with disbelief. "And here I thought you knew me." "I thought I did too." Peach rolled her eyes, falling back in line with their normal banter. She sighed. If she wasn't so ruffled from this act, she'd have found this all very exciting. But instead, it had left her embarrassed, wanting to leave to bury her face in a pillow and not come out of her room until the next morning. This wasn't how it was supposed to go. This was a disaster. When Reth's response was silence, Peach grew more impatient. "Aha, very funny, Reth. You got me good. Now hand me my robe so I can get dressed." Peach shifted her grip so she could hold up the blanket in one hand, and with the other, pointed to her robe hanging on the wall. Reth frowned, softening his expression. "I wasn't joking." Would have fooled me. Even though her heart twinged when she heard the melancholy in his voice, Peach's indignation was abundant on her face. Alright, we gotta get... Let's get like a sad song. No, that's comical. It's dramatic. He lowered his voice. Oh, no, wait. Her heart twinged when she heard the melancholy in his voice. Peach's indignation was abundant on her face. This is still not it. Peach. He lowered his voice, hoping that she'd understand how serious he was. "I mean it." His lips curled into an earnest smile as he turned toward Peach, his freckles flushed dark pink. Peach's voice hitched in her throat, forcing her boiling anger to lie dormant. Everything that happened in the past few minutes simply corroded away, allowing the repressed emotions from the carriage to resurface. She found herself once again lost in his gaze. He took a step toward Peach, studying her reaction as he drew nearer. "You're gorgeous." While his tone hadn't changed, his eyes returned to the same eagerness as before. A chef, desperate to taste his latest dish! That was a good one. Hopelessly, Peach tried fighting against the pounding in her chest and the heat scorching up her center. She scooted away from Reth as he approached, grasping onto the last sliver of control she had. If Peach lost that, she knew there'd be no way to undo it. I know you can't forget it either, can you? Reth teased, his devilish grin returning. Reth continued his approach, looming above her due to the height of the table. Bending over, he inched his face toward hers, intruding in on her personal space so that all she could see was him. Trying to escape from Reth's beckoning presence with his coy smile, his intoxicating smell infused with lavender, the sway of his loose-fitting clothes. Peach scrunched herself down until her forearm caught against the table's surface, keeping her from falling flat on her back. She could hear her own heartbeat ringing in her ears as her chest felt like it was going to explode. The way he looked at her, devouring her with those blue eyes. Peach tried to fight the way her body wanted to arch up to his. Forget it? Forget what? Where we left off. Reth reached over her. Oh, perfect timing. Reth reached over her, grabbing the opposite side of the table, positioning himself even closer, his face right above hers, trapping her in that spot. Peach had nowhere to go, except to be consumed by his appetite. Peach couldn't ignore how handsome his face was, not when he was so close. His sharp features and the way his tightly wound curls bounced with every breath, the blush on his cheeks, making his freckles more dramatic against his skin. Locking onto those enticing blue eyes of his, she wanted to dive into the vast ocean they held. Peach let her mouth fall slightly open, shallow breaths escaping her lips. Reth, Peach's voice wavered. What are you doing? Something I've wanted to do for a long time. Closing the distance between them, Reth leaned in and kissed Peach. The initial disbelief of what had happened very quickly sloughed off her reserved facade, revealing her aching intentions inside. She couldn't hold back any longer, her lips welcoming him as she kissed him back. Letting her hunger devour her, Peach silenced her conscious instinct taking control. With one hand clutching the flimsy sheet to her chest, the other reached up to Reth, running her fingers through his curls. She tugged on them, pulling him to her. Reth had to catch himself on the table to prevent himself from crashing into Peach and everything he desired about her. He wanted to satiate those urges fully, to be sucked into her very essence, enveloped by her! But he forced himself to savor each sensation. The taste of her lips, the scent on her neck, the softness of her skin. He was burning the memory of this into his soul, so he'd never forget. Peach freed her grasp on the sheer blanket to grab the collar of his shirt. She'd waited so long for this moment that she wasn't about to let him go. They were close, but Peach's body demanded that there be no space between them, and she yanked him down further. His arms could no longer keep himself propped up, and gladly acquiesced to her lure. Reth took a sharp breath as he broke the kiss, eliciting a delicate whimper from Peach. In a swift motion, he boosted himself up on the massage table, swinging a leg over to straddle Peach. Taking a second to balance himself atop the table in Peach, he looked down at her. Her cheeks pink, her green eyes burning for him. The blanket puddled on her breast, revealing a little too much skin for him to hold on to any remaining deference. Bending over with a new ferocity, their lips found each other as quickly as they had parted. He cradled her cheek in his hand. A loud growl hummed from his throat. His mouth. He wanted to say something, to articulate the words he'd been feeling for so long. But he never got the chance. A pounding knock rapped on the door. Hello? Are you still in there? Time's up. We have to get ready for the next appointment. Reth's eyes widened, pulling him back from ecstasy into reality. A flood of emotions, shame, guilt, lust, greed, all distorting his brain with the consequences of his actions. It wasn't regret, but embarrassment that filled his heart as he locked eyes with Peach, also shocked from the sudden interruption. He knew he had to leave. He didn't want to, but he knew he had to. He clumsily jumped down from the table, his body feeling heavy from the weight of his decision. Rushing to the exit, Reth only turned back for a brief moment to see the hurt on Peach's face. Reth, she called to him, worry drowning her voice, but he didn't respond as she watched him shut the door, leaving her half naked and alone! The end. For now. Yes, Palia with an OC. A Mario fic! Oh, because of Peach. Peach is self-insert. Cliffhanger! That was written by Aenne in the chat. On AO3, you can find Aenne under Peachy Aenne. And the fic was 1 week till the Renaissance Fair. There you have it! Whew. I think that was another 30 minutes. I don't know why that one felt like it went by quicker. I liked the flow of it. It flowed very well. Had a good line in there too. The chef line. I'm in the middle of another spicy moment. Need to write more now. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Okay. So now I want to pull a fanfic from Ruuuvo. But how are we doing? Let's check in. How's everybody feeling? We still having a good time? We having fun? All right. I'm gonna look at these two Ryoma fics and see which one I like more. Okay. Let's read some of the tags. I'm gonna read them. Oh my god, I might know one of these. One of these sounds familiar. Oops. What to do? Let's see what summaries. Oh, well, how long are they? Let's see. One's 5,000, one... Okay, they're both about 5,000. Damn. Let's see, how long is that gonna take? That might not be too bad. Oh, it's so hard to choose. Ruuuvo, do you have a preference? I'm trying to decide between one of the Ryoma Okita fics. At the bottom of your message. There's one about a fan. And then there's another one. Do you have a recommendation? Love it when you recognize a fic you've already read it. And then after this one, I will read one from Oni. And same thing, if you have a preference for me definitely getting to one or the other, let me know. I mean, we're not even halfway through the stream, so hopefully we have enough time for most of the suggestions, but... Ruuuvo sent, like, 12, so I definitely won't get to all of those, but... The fan one? Okay. I was kind of thinking that. Alright. We'll do that one next. Just read it at 2 times speed like a podcast. I mean, I'm trying to read quickly, but also make sure y'all can understand what I'm saying. Oh, God. Yes, thank you, Aenne, for submitting your work. Aenne also has shared with me their high school fanfiction. I'm probably going to end up reading the FF7 one. So I think that one I'm going to do after Oni's. Just so we kind of go in an order. And then after the high school fanfic, I'm going to go back to another one from Panda. And then we'll do that. I think. Yes, applause for the Aenne. That was good. It was good. All right, chat. Oh, here, I got it. I should have just done it. My bad. It's so beautiful. I'm just... Oh, it brings a tear to my eye. That'll be hilarious. I read that one out loud a few years ago, and I was a teenager once. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. All right. This one is called Fan Dance by Mage of the Lufanes, which I follow them on social media. This one is about Ryoma and Okita, which are Kiryu and Majima from the Ishin game. All right. No tags, no summary. We're just going right in. Okay. Oh, we need different music. We need different. This is not fitting. Okay. Okay. Back to Yakuza music. All right. Here we go. You have also read this? This might be a popular one. Ryoma was rarely not direct with Okita, which is something the captain admired in him from the moment they'd gotten to know one another. He was upfront and wasn't afraid to speak his mind, and Okita guessed that it helped that he was an incredibly handsome man as well. Maybe a bit too handsome, if all the sleepless nights he'd had thinking of the other man were to say anything, but Ryoma didn't need to know that. This was why, when Ryoma passed him in the hall one day and dropped a crumpled bit of paper in his hand, accompanied with a sly look, Okita became incredibly confused. The look aside, if Ryoma wanted something, he would stop him and ask for a meeting later on. Depending on what it was Ryoma wanted, Okita might decide that he'd only comply if Ryoma defeated him in combat. After all, Ryoma wasn't just extremely beautiful, but also a skilled fighter, traits that Okita admired in any man. This time, however, there was no request, and Ryoma simply walked on by as if nothing had happened. Okita turned to watch him leave, making a confused noise before stepping aside and opening up the piece of paper. In Ryoma's writing, the note read, "Come to the northeastern room at sundown. Make sure to be alone, and burn this note afterwards." Okita frowned at the note, but he couldn't go against Ryoma's orders, even if he was the man's senior. Despite it being out of the way Okita was originally going, he found the nearest fire pit and threw the note in, careful not to let anyone notice him doing so. As he made his way back to where he was meant to be going, he wondered what Ryoma had in store. Was it a fight? It'd be a weird room to fight in, unless it was just some no-nonsense brawling. Even then, the training room would have been a better pick. With a shake of his head, he decided he'd just wait until sundown and meet Ryoma like he'd asked. No, wrong button, I'm sorry. Wrong button. Anyway. As soon as it reached sundown, Okita made his way to the location Ryoma had told him about. He hadn't been able to really concentrate that day, curious on what exactly Ryoma wanted him for. He hadn't seen him all day, so it wasn't like he could just ask either. He was mildly annoyed at this behavior and was tempted to give Ryoma a piece of his mind through the use of his fists. That would teach him to keep him in the dark all day. Once he reached the correct room, he noticed the partition was slightly ajar. With a heavy sigh, Okita pushed it open just enough to slip in before sliding it shut, the sound managing to catch Ryoma's attention. The man himself was kneeling down on a raised stage at the other end of the wall. Okita realized this was one of the rooms dedicated to performances, and wondered how Ryoma managed to get in unnoticed. All thoughts left his mind when Ryoma met his gaze and smiled, causing Okita to feel a little lightheaded. He could smile and get every girl pawing at his feet. This is an inner thought. Wait. He could smile and get every girl pawing at his feet. "Good afternoon, Okita," Ryoma said, bowing down as was the proper way to greet your seniors. Okita felt a thrill of power run through— This is not the right song. Trying to find a good song. I'd like to meet his gaze too. This note will self-destruct in 10 seconds. It's too dramatic. This one's too, like, sweet. Does this fit? Maybe. Okay, it's fine for— well... The sound of Okita whipping it out. I need a good song. Oh my god. You know, maybe this one's fine. "Good afternoon, Okita," Ryoma said, bowing down as was the proper way to greet your seniors. Okita felt a thrill of power run through him as he took his own seat a few feet in front of Ryoma, his eyes catching on a folded-up fan directly in front of him. "The fuck's all this about, Hajime-chan?" he asked, using the old nickname he had for Ryoma before he'd found out his true identity. "I'm glad you asked," Ryoma replied, his lips twitching upwards as he picked up the fan, stroking it gently. "I noticed a few weeks ago that you happened to watch one of my fan dancing routines." Fuck. "Ah, yeah," Okita replied dumbly, unsure what else to say that wouldn't sound weird. He'd heard from a few people that Ryoma was rather good at fan dancing, and curiosity had gotten the best of him. What he'd seen had entranced him, and he'd left with a stronger attraction to Ryoma. "Did you hear about them from someone else?" Ryoma asked, pinning Okita with his gaze. Ryoma was anything but submissive, using his strength and cunning to get what he needed. Yet his attitude felt different, more in control than Okita had ever encountered it before. I did. Wanted to see what all the fuss was about, Okita managed to tell him, his fingers twitching a little as he tried to stop himself from getting up and kissing Ryoma, breathless. He was way too enticing at that moment. You seemed very intrigued when I noticed you. I decided a few days later it wouldn't hurt to give you a private showing, Ryoma said, giving him a somewhat coy look. What's the catch? Okita asked, knowing that this wouldn't be just a fan dance for him. Ryoma wouldn't have bothered if it was just that. I think we'll just start the steamy music now. Why not? Oh, you know what would be better? Wait. Let's make this immersive. I'm gonna pull up the Ishin fan music. Oh, I think I got it. Yeah! Yeah! Alright. Immersion! Okay, let's turn it down a little bit, though. The dance hasn't started yet. You seemed very intrigued when I noticed you. I decided a few days later it wouldn't hurt to give you a private showing, Ryoma said, giving him a somewhat coy look. What's the catch? Okita asked, knowing that this wouldn't just be a fan dance for him. Ryoma wouldn't have bothered if it was just that. Let's say it's a little more than a simple fan dance. The catch is, you're not allowed to touch me until I say you are, Ryoma commented as he stood up, opening the fan with a flourish of his wrist. The catch is, you're not allowed to touch me until I say you are, Ryoma commented as he stood up, opening the fan with a flourish of his wrist. The darkened, almost wanting look in his eyes made Okita's mouth feel dry, and he decided that whatever Ryoma had planned, he would play along. Seemingly understanding that Okita complied with his rule, Ryoma started to move. His movements at first were gradual, nothing too fancy as he got into the rhythm of whatever routine he was using. Even the simplest of movements, however, were enough to entrance Okita. Ryoma moved with a grace that you wouldn't expect from a man who looked ready to fight anyone that disagreed with him. It was a similar sort of grace to the one he demonstrated when fighting with both a sword and a gun, yet this time less deadly and more, well, rhythmical. Despite the lack of music, Ryoma seemed to be in his element, stopping to pose at various points in his routine, and throughout it all, his eyes stayed locked onto Okita's. Okay, canonically there is no music, but we're gonna roll with it. In fact, he continued to look at him, even as the blue Hayori the Shinsengumi were known for started to fall off his shoulders. It fluttered down to the floor as Ryoma stepped off the stage, getting a little closer to Okita, who realized that that was definitely on purpose. He also noticed that Ryoma's kimono was a little different than usual, looser around the shoulder area, which allowed more of his chest to be exposed. His tongue darted across his lips as he followed the lines of his chest, watching a drop of sweat run down his skin. The clothes are coming off! Ryoma's right hand moved to his back, his left continuing to move with the fan in it as Ryoma's hips swayed a little. With a little bit of work, Ryoma's obi came off and fell to the floor, causing his kimono to open up fully this time. Okita was too fascinated with planes of his muscles to really question how he'd managed to take his obi off one-handedly. He recalled a time when he'd watched him practice against one of the training dummies, his kimono tied around his waist as he attacked with both ferocity and grace. He'd been glued to the side of Ryoma's muscles as they moved and flexed with each attack, the sweat trickling down the lines of his bare back. That night... let's see. That night the thoughts of being pressed against Ryoma's body as he took his pleasure. Hard and fast, his nails leaving marks when he scratched down Ryoma's back! And now Ryoma was in front of him, taking steps closer and closer while he continued to dance. His kimono gradually slipped off his shoulders, just like how his Hayori had done, until that too was left on the floor, leaving him only in his hakama. Okita was speechless, mouth dry, and his tongue felt thick in his mouth, staring up at Ryoma and unable to choose what he should be focusing on. His eyes darted from his stomach to his chest and up to his face, noticing how Ryoma's lips were quirked into a smirk whilst his eyes burned with desire. That was almost enough for him to ignore the rule and pounce on Ryoma to kiss him senseless, but he knew that the reward would be greater if he waited. Let's see. Let's play the sexy song now. Let's see. That was until Ryoma straddled his lap. As soon as he felt those strong hips on either side of him, Okita knew he would have no control over his next actions. Ryoma continued to dance, yet this time there was a more sensual twist to his movements. It was as if he were emphasizing his upper body, enticing Okita to stare. And stare Okita did. In fact, he couldn't do anything but stare, breath coming out in short pants. He could feel his hardening in his pants, a small part of him hoping Ryoma could feel what he was doing to Okita. He faintly heard the click of Ryoma's fan closing before feeling his arms rest gently on his shoulders. From this position, Ryoma's chest was basically right in Okita's face, and every dream he'd had, every lustful thought, was quickly becoming a reality. Unfortunately, Okita couldn't control himself when the man who had occupied his desires from the moment he'd seen him fight Nagakura was basically giving him a lap dance. Before he could pull himself back and obey the rule Ryoma had set, Okita pressed his face forward, right into Ryoma's chest. His tongue darted out, licking a broad stripe between his pecs, his senses being filled with the scent and taste of Ryoma. It was near damn intoxicating. Okita's twitching as he imagined what it would be like to press his face into his chest while Ryoma's fingers pressed into him. And loosened him up. He managed to hear a quiet moan, and for a minute he wondered if Ryoma was going to let him get away with that. Those hopeful thoughts disappeared when Ryoma grabbed his hair and pulled his head back, a strong look of annoyance covering his entire face. Did I say you could touch? Ryoma asked, voice deeper than usual with a slight rough edge to it. Okita wondered if maybe this was affecting Ryoma as much as it had affected him. Instead of being able to answer, Okita could only dumbly shake his head, mind still reeling with how good Ryoma had tasted. Should have known a dog like yourself would have no manners, Ryoma commented as he stood up. Oh my god. And the sudden empty feeling made Okita want to whimper. A dog? That the best insult you got? Okita finally found his voice, watching as Ryoma picked up his Iori and Obi. He had every right to fight with Ryoma for that comment, but he realized being at the other man's mercy was more fun than getting everything he wanted. Who knew Ryoma could play like this? Inner voice? The best I've got is this, Ryoma said, catching his attention again as he stood right in front of Okita, causing him to crane his head up to catch the look in his eyes. You will learn your manners. You obviously don't have any, so tonight's session has ended. Oh no, no more sexy. Let's play something else. So sad, he stopped the sexy time. Okita gritted his teeth as Ryoma padded to the partition. Oh, and Okita, if by the same time tomorrow night you haven't learned any better, I won't let you partake in any more private sessions. With that, Ryoma had left Okita sitting there alone, his starting to soften as that small high faded away. Damn you, Ryoma, he muttered to himself before a piece of gray cloth caught his eye. Managing to get up despite his legs feeling a little weaker from how he'd gotten, he stooped down and picked up the cloth. It didn't take a genius to realize it was actually Ryoma's kimono. Not really knowing what he was doing, he pressed the fabric against his face, quietly moaning as Ryoma's scent filled his senses. He couldn't ignore his urges tonight, not after that performance. So, after making sure he didn't look suspicious at all, he made his way back to his room. That very night, Okita, harder than he'd ever in his life, Ryoma's clothing pressed against his face as he... to thoughts of the other man riding him. But when Okita woke up that morning, it was with a groan and the feeling that he was slightly hungover. Of course he wasn't. He couldn't easily forget what had happened last night, but Fuck! shit today. I knew it! It was only a matter of time. Oh, shit. You said the quiet part out loud. I am so red. I am so red. I actually need this right now. How we doing, chat? How we doing? This one's pretty spicy. That's getting clipped. Oh my god. It's also pretty normal. It's a normal word. Yeah. He was just coming over to someone's house, you know? Anyway. As I was saying. Oh, are we back? I'm just pissed off texting Ruuuvo. You know, I think I did need to stand up anyway. I had to, like, crawl under the desk. I had to crawl under the desk to try to switch the internet. And then, my hat got stuck. My fucking pirate hat got stuck between my computer and my camera tripod. I was like, So so that's why it took a little while to come back. I couldn't find the Ethernet port. My hat got stuck. Sorry. Can you guys see me? I'm on a different internet now. It might look a little worse, but we're not doing any, like, video game stuff, so it might be alright. It's worse when there's a lot of movement going on, so we're good. Anyway, I'm so sorry about that. We shouldn't really have too many, disconnects now. Sad music. So sad. I was kind of doing a bit, but I was also just, like, mad. Buffer and crunchy, okay. Welp! It is what it is. All you need is my voice, right? Okay. Getting such rude interruptions on this wonderful fanfic. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for the clip. Okay. We really are getting teased by Ryoma right now. Okay. As Okita sat up, he made a confused noise when he noticed something fall off his body. Looking down, he realized it was Ryoma's kimono that was soon followed by the dread when he noticed that he'd... when he'd gotten... on it. Well, fuck. Guess I'm gonna have to wash this now, he mumbled as he got out of bed and used a wet cloth to wash himself off. After that, he got changed and hurried on down to the washing area, hoping it was too early for anyone to comment on the fact it wasn't his own kimono. Of course, just as he began to scrub it in the water, Nagakura came along and ruined all his plans. Am I seeing things, or are you finally doing your own washing for a change? He asked, leaning against a nearby post. You say that like I don't do my own washing at all, Okita responded, too caught up in making sure this kimono was as clean as possible to actually look at Nagakura. That's because you don't. Excuse me? Yes, I do. No, you hand it all to me to do. Also, pretty sure you never had any gray kimonos lying about, unless you bought one recently, Nagakura commented, making Okita grimace. When the fuck was my bro so damn nosy, huh? He spat, looking up just in time to see Nagakura grin. So you're hiding something. You almost never hide anything from me, you know that. Okita grumbled as he scrubbed a little harder, being careful not to tear the fabric. These kimonos were made to be tougher than ceremonial ones, but they were still somewhat delicate, and he wouldn't be able to explain the tears when he gave it back to Ryoma. Man's gotta have some secrets, he said, frowning in concentration. Oh, don't be mean, Internet! Don't be mean! Don't be mean! like why you have Sakamoto's clothing. Never before had Okita wanted to dunk Nagakura's head straight into the water than at that exact moment. Instead, he simply asked how Nagakura knew it was Ryoma's kimono and not a generic gray one. Seen him around enough to recognize the patterning, Nagakura answered. Still doesn't explain why you have it. Unless... We were sparring yesterday evening, Okita interjected, hoping the lie would shake him off. It was too hot for our kimonos, so we sparred topless, but Hajime-chan had forgotten to collect his kimono afterwards. Decided it wouldn't hurt to wash it for him, like a good friend. Nagakura laughed, and Okita was trying his hardest not to drown his damn sworn brother for being a pain in his ass. You're just trying to get into his bed, don't lie. Okita didn't answer. Instead, he just shot his brother a nasty glare, making him put his hands up in mock surrender. Relax, I won't tell anyone, let alone Sakamoto himself. Your secret's safe until the moment you actually decide to try and... him. Okita sighed heavily, shaking his head before making a shooing motion. Don't you have drills to attend to this morning? Nagakura laughed again as he stepped away. Alright, I'll leave you alone to try and woo Sakamoto. Can't say it'll work, though. Oh, it's worked alright. Okita thought as he listened to his brother walk away, continuing to scrub at the clothing. By the time it was sundown, Ryoma's kimono had dried out, which was lucky for Okita. He made sure to fold it up perfectly before making his way to the same room as last time, hoping that Ryoma had kept to his word about giving Okita another chance. I love how universally the fanon of Saejima being able to read Majima like an open book has also worked its way into the Isshin Fics too. Yeah! I love that! I feel like it's still accurate, because they're still really close in Isshin too. By the time it was sundown, Ryoma's kimono had dried out, which was lucky for Okita. He made sure to fold it up perfectly before making his way to the same room as last time, hoping that Ryoma had kept to his word about giving Okita another chance. Unsurprisingly, Ryoma was already there, his eyes opening when Okita stepped into the room. Okita noticed that there was a cloth and water, as well as a small vial. It didn't take Okita long to realize what exactly was in the vial, and why the cloth and water was needed. A small shudder running through his body. What have you got there? Ryoma asked, eyeing the bundle of clothing in Okita's hands. You left your kimono here. I washed it for you, Okita said, brandishing it almost like a gift. At that moment, Ryoma did indeed seem like royalty, sitting there so calm and regal. Thank you, Ryoma said as he took the kimono and placed it to the side, his lips twitching up. You didn't happen to do anything scandalous with it now, did you? Oh? Okita stuttered and felt his cheeks heat up, hating the fact he'd managed to get so flustered so easily. Ryoma chuckled, a knowing look in his eyes as he indicated for Okita to sit down, taking a hold of the fan once again. Let's see if you can behave yourself again. Just like the night before, the routine started off simply. Alright, we need some matching music now. There we go. The routine started off simply. Ryoma stood and made basic movements, using another routine that he'd learned compared to the one from before. Okita was instantly entranced in the movements, watching aptly as they became more complex as Ryoma went on. I wonder if there's another song we can do. I think this is another one, right? Okay. Once again, the Hayori was off first, though Ryoma spiced things up by throwing it straight at Okita. Woo! When Okita didn't take a hold of it and instead let it settle on his lap, Ryoma smirked. That's a good start. The praised thrilled Okita, and he continued to keep his hands firmly planted on his lap, careful to keep them as still as possible. Afterwards, Ryoma got to work on the obi, taking off with one hand again. That he didn't throw Okita. Oh my god. That he didn't throw at Okita, but instead threw off to the side, turning around so that his back was to Okita. Okita felt a sheen of sweat on his brow, watching Ryoma intensely, like he might disappear if he looked away for a second. Ryoma turned his head just enough to stare at Okita from the corner of his eyes, his lips twitching into a smirk. Just that look alone sent heat straight to Okita's, his hands digging into the fabric of his hakata, trying to stop himself from breaking Ryoma's rule. Ryoma's right sleeve fell just enough to expose his shoulder, and then the left sleeve fell afterwards. The muscles in his shoulders rippled as he continued to move with the fan. Okita bit on his lip, rolling it between his teeth when the kimono finally came off. "One day, I'm gonna mark all the pretty skin of yours," Okita said, and he hadn't realized he'd been thinking out loud until Ryoma chuckled, turning around to start walking towards him. "Are you implying we might have more than once?" he asked, obviously not upset at Okita speaking mid-routine. In fact, he seemed to be genuinely enjoying himself. "There's a reason why females have all been begging at my door. From what I've heard, you've turned them all down," Ryoma commented, getting close enough to pick up his Hayori and toss it aside before settling himself in Okita's lap, just like the first routine. Okita's nails scratched at the mats beneath them, his eyes lingering on the expanse of Ryoma's chest. This is not a pet peeve, but I do notice it. Eyes compared to eye, but it's okay. This close, he noticed that Ryoma's... No, you know what? Had perked up, and he was tempted to take one into his mouth, but knew that would end with never getting a chance like this again. "I'm interested in someone, that's why," Okita told him, looking up at Ryoma. He noticed a blush dusting Ryoma's cheeks just as the fan covered his face, a sign that he'd ended his routine. But Okita knew that this didn't mean he could touch Ryoma now. "Wonder who that person is. They must be pretty lucky." "Must be pretty lucky," Ryoma replied, closing the fan and putting it to one side. "What's your plan, Hajime-chan?" Okita asked, both glad and disappointed that the dancing had ended. Hopefully Ryoma would at least tell him what was going on. "I don't know what you're talking about," Ryoma said so quietly, Okita was afraid he'd misheard at first. "Don't play coy with me. You know exactly what I mean," Okita replied, a slight frown furrowing his brows. "Fine. You may touch me now, but only where I tell you to. Let's see if you can keep your hands to yourself," Ryoma told him before ordering Okita to place his hands over the bun, keeping part of his hair up. "Undo it," came the command from Ryoma, and Okita was more than happy to oblige, having never seen Ryoma with his hair properly down before. "Yes! Yes!" It took a little bit of work to undo the small knot of the band that held it up, but once he'd managed it, Okita watched with shock as Ryoma's hair tumbled down. The button— oh, sorry, hold on. The bun was mostly keeping Ryoma's hair out of his face so he could fight properly, yet now strands fell down and framed his face perfectly. Okita wanted nothing more than to grab onto the hair, kissing Ryoma deeply all the same. Instead, he just stared up at Ryoma with his hands back in his lap, mouth partly open as he tried to burn the sight to his memory. It would provide some good material for his nightly escapades. "You look like you've seen a demon," Ryoma commented, an amused tone to his voice. "I feel like I've seen a dragon, actually," Okita responded, trying to ignore the heat spiking in his gut when Ryoma looked at him, his deep brown eyes half-lidded. "A dragon," he purred, pressing himself closer to Okita. Okita wanted to scream at how he was getting, feeling the heat coming off Ryoma's bare chest. "Well then, this dragon hungers." Oh! Okita wondered what Ryoma actually meant by that comment until teeth grazed at the skin of his neck. Okita wanted to whimper or moan or do something, but instead he kept quiet, his lips trembling. His fingers dug into his hakata once again, acutely aware of Ryoma's pressing ever so slightly against his own. "What is it you want, Okita?" came Ryoma's voice, sinfully deep, right against the shell of his ear. The feeling of his breath against the skin sent a slight shudder running through his body. He was so and desperate by now, unsure of how long he could keep up with this. After swallowing down the lump in his throat, Okita managed to find his voice. "You. I want you." Ryoma made a pleased noise that Okita wanted to hear him make whilst he Ryoma's mouth. How long have you wanted me, Okita? He asked, voice still a quiet, whispered purr. What an unbelievably easy and obvious answer. Since I first saw you fight my bro, he answered. Another shudder running through his body as Ryoma mouthed at his ear. His self-control was starting to fray by the second. So all this time you've been wanting me, Ryoma asked, Okita's eyes closing as he gave in to the sensation of Ryoma gently biting against his ear. Yes, he breathed, his hands trembling. It was beginning to get too much for him. Luckily, it seemed that the gods were being merciful that evening as Ryoma pulled away. Okita's eyes opened just in time to see Ryoma give him a heated look. I think you've learned to control yourself. You may touch now. Okita didn't need to be told twice, flinging himself at Ryoma so hard that he fell onto his back. His gasp of shock was muffled as Okita kissed him hard, the taste of Ryoma on his mouth making him moan as he straddled the other's hips. His hands went from his hair to his shoulders, and then finally to his chest, settling there as he pawed at his pecs, grinding down almost obscenely against Ryoma's... From the Hakata! Need these off! Okita growled against Ryoma's lips, biting down on the bottom one just enough to get Ryoma to groan. You really don't want to take it a little slower? Ryoma asked, the amused tone back. Okita growled again, biting down hard on Ryoma's neck, pleased when Ryoma arched his back and moaned. You've teased me more than enough, Ryoma-chan, Okita told him, using his real name and watching the shudder run through his body. I've been waiting for this for so damn long! Ryoma decided at that moment he'd actually comply with Okita's order, helping Okita out of his own clothing first. There wasn't any teasing for Ryoma. They just wanted to be naked as soon as possible so the fun could properly start. Welcome in, Rock Dad! Do we have a link? I can post a link right this second for you. Any of the fics y'all have heard today, you can very much just ask me for the link and I will post it. No problem. I also say the title and author at the beginning. Okay. Let's see. So the fun could properly start. At last, Okita's underwear came off, and he sighed in relief as the pressure of the fundoshi finally came off his... I scrolled on accident, hold on. Noticing the expression on Ryoma's face, he smirked and knelt a little higher, giving his... a few gentle strokes to get Ryoma even more riled up. A tongue darted up and swiped across dry lips, the heat in Ryoma's gaze intensifying even more. Okita didn't think Ryoma had looked more stunning than at that moment. You gonna help get these off me now? Ryoma asked after a while of just watching Okita himself, making Okita smirk down at his friend. It would be my pleasure, Ryoma-chan. Thanks to Ryoma stripping off most his clothing beforehand, the Hakata came off with no problem, leaving him alone in just his underwear. He noticed the strained bulge, a thrill of excitement running through him at the realization that he'd been the cause of Ryoma's... As he slipped off the fundoshi, Ryoma's whimper of satisfaction at having his... finally free sent another full-body shudder running through Okita's body. Oh my god. I think you have the best in all of Kyoto! Bro. Put it on a t-shirt! Okita commented, unable to help himself as he leant forward and licked up the... Goddamn! Up the... From... To... Just Kyoto? Ryoma asked, moaning quietly. His toes curled when Okita sucked on the... The taste of flooding his mouth and making him groan in delight. Probably all of Japan, but we'll see once it's in me, Okito responded, grinning maniacally at him as he stood up and grabbed the lubrication from the stage. When he returned, Ryoma was pawing at his arching every time he tightened his grip just a little too much. The sight was damn near intoxicating, and Okito was half tempted to just stop and stare if he wasn't so eager to have Ryoma's in him. Take a sip. I will do that. This one's spicy. Do y'all think there's an Alan and Mr. Pop? Someone please find me a good Smiling Friends fic. Please. I will read it. I will read it. Shinsengumi mates. History will call them good friends. Please. Okay. Anyway. Okita grinned maniacally at him as he stood up and grabbed lubrication from the stage. Oh wait, we already read that. Oh, here we go. Hands off. I got something else they could be doing, Okita ordered, chuckling a little when he made Ryoma startled. The lube was shoved into Ryoma's hand and he got to work coating his fingers as Okita got into position, leaning over Ryoma just enough to whisper into his ear. Don't bother with one finger. Go straight in with two. God damn! Ryoma made a quiet noise. Like a choked off moan before shoving two fingers straight into Okita. Okita cried out at the feeling, pushing back against the fingers greedily. I'm gonna break this in half! He noticed the look on Ryoma's face. The look on Ryoma's face, one that was both entranced and concentrated at the same time. He looked damn handsome, and the look only intensified as he began to move his fingers. The sweat that beaded on Ryoma's forehead caused stray hairs to stick to his face. The rest of his hair splayed out underneath him like those fans he so dearly loved to dance with. I can't. Did they have lube at Edo Times? I see your Eileen. Probably not the same kind we have now. Probably a little bit more like natural ingredients. You know what I'm saying? Where did I leave off? Oh my god. Yes, okay. Fuck, Ryoma-chan! Have I told you you're goddamn gorgeous? Okita gasped. Eyes widening when Ryoma managed to find that spot that could make him see stars. No, but do tell me, Ryoma responded, and Okita could tell he was straining to get the words out. The thought of Ryoma being just as desperate got a bead of to fall down his... After a few minutes of Ryoma opening Okita with his fingers, Okita decided that enough was enough and that he needed to be riding Ryoma right now! He was careful as he grabbed Ryoma's wrist, pulling out his fingers to a confused expression before coating his hand with lubricant. All of these messages getting held. I'm sorry. 350 BC. I've got coming with the history. So yes. It's gotta be historically accurate. I just can't get into it. Oh my god. Okay. Can't wait. Okita panted as he stroked the lube down Ryoma's, loving the noise he got from it. Guess I didn't teach you any manners, Ryoma said, his words melting into a moan as Okita sunk down onto his... throwing his head back and hissing in delight. Okita managed to laugh, though it was more like a short huff of breath as he instantly began to move, digging his nails into Ryoma's abs. No one can teach me how to behave. Okay. Ryoma seemed too far lost in the pleasurable feeling to properly respond, a sign that had Okita smirking with obvious delight. He scratched down Ryoma's body, loving the way he pawed at Okita's thighs in response, his eyes closed in pure bliss. He looked even more beautiful in the throes of passion, it seemed. His movements started to increase in speed, the rhythm becoming more and more wild as he started to properly lose himself, Ryoma's hips rolling upwards in time with his thrusts. Okita's hands moved back up Ryoma's body, squeezing at his chest as his thrusts became erratic. A loud cry left his lips once Ryoma drove his hips up hard enough to hit his fingers digging into the flesh of his thighs. Spent almost every night dreaming of this moment, Ryoma-chan. Okita moaned as he rode him to so many thoughts of you, so many nights. Oh my god, I'm losing it. Welcome in, Salamander! That is a good costume. Thank you so much. Shall we take a break to show off the costume? I think we'll take a break from the smut to look at the costume. My cheeks hurt from smiling. Here's the costume. Oh goodness. I gotta back up. Oh. Yes, yes. Even the back. Yes. 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 Gloves. Yes. I would usually have the tattoo, but I'm about to go to Thanksgiving with my family, so I didn't put it on. I hope you'll forgive me. But yes. I did not make this costume. This was made by my spouse. We cosplay together. They're usually the Kiryu to my Majima. And they're an amazing crafter. And they make amazing costumes, so I can't take any credit for it, but I do model it. I'm the model, they're the artist. That's how it goes. But I really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. We are, doing some dramatic fanfic reading, and it's very, very spicy right now. You're turning redder and redder the more we read. Yeah. And we gotta go right back to it. We have so many fanfics to get through! We have time, but, you know. Anyway. Welcome in. I'm not usually reading fanfiction on stream, but we did a special little Streamiversary event last month, and chat unlocked a dramatic fanfic reading and unlocked a cosplay stream, so I decided to combine them, so that's why we're doing this today. But usually I'm playing all kinds of games. I'm playing some scary games. I'm playing some Silent Hill right now. Playing usually Yakuza, but I finished all the Yakuza games, so I just finished Pirate Majima, the Pirate Majima game recently, so anyway, we play lots of stuff here. I cosplay sometimes. It's a fun time here. Glad to have you. I have to get back to reading the smut now, so there's no easy way for me to ease back into this. So I'm just gonna get right back to it. Okita just said that he dreams of this every night. Okita opened his eye just in time to notice Ryoma's own expression change. And before he could register what was going on, Ryoma had switched their positions. Okita was more than okay with this change, crying out in pleasure as Ryoma drove back into him hard and fast, pinning his hands above his head by the wrist. A low, continuous keening noise came from Okita's throat as Ryoma him roughly, that familiar tightness letting him know that he would be... Ryoma-chan, please! Oh wait, sorry, I'm sorry. Wait, hold on. Ryoma-chan, please! Okita whined. The whine becoming a full-on sob of pleasure as Ryoma grabbed his neglected and stroked it in time with his thrust. He could faintly hear over his own noises of pleasure the sounds coming from Ryoma himself, and they were driving him crazy. Okita thrashed a little to try and get his hands free, wanting to kiss Ryoma and taste him as he... But Ryoma only tightened his grip. Stay still, he growled, looking down at him before kissing him hard, just like he'd heard Okita's thoughts. Stilling his movements, Okita focused entirely on the feeling of Ryoma's lips against his, realizing he was a lot too than he originally thought. With that sudden thought, Okita pulled away from the kiss and cried out with delight, his back arching as he... all over his chest. There were a few more hard thrusts from Ryoma before he tensed up, moaning. As he... inside Okita. A sudden silence filled the air, Ryoma pulling out and collapsing to the side of Okita, making a quiet noise of discomfort as he did so. They just lay there, panting heavily, coming down from their highs in peaceful silence. Oh, peaceful silence, peaceful silence. Where is it? We'll just have some rain. It suddenly started raining. After a little while, Ryoma stood up, causing Okita to sit up confused until he noticed the cloth and water in Ryoma's hands. Aren't you an angel? He chuckled as Ryoma cleaned the dry... off his body. Think you said dragon earlier, Ryoma replied, his voice rougher than usual. Oh, sorry. Think you said dragon earlier. Okita laughed again, watching Ryoma clean himself up with a soft smile. The smile only widened when Ryoma leant down and brushed his lips against Okita's in a sweet gesture of love. Hey, Ryoma-chan? You ready for round 2? I am if you are. The end! Alright, how we doing, chat? How we doing? That was pretty spicy! I think we should switch back to the other internet. Don't mind me. Just going to go down here now. We've switched to the other internet. Hopefully that's better. Apologies for any inconvenience. The sass, yes. Yes. Alright, anyway, I was trying to ask, how are we feeling? How are we doing after that very spicy fic? That was the spiciest one yet! Leave it to Ruuuvo. Leave it to Ruuuvo to find the really spicy ones. I mean, the first one was spicy too, but this one... I could barely get through it. I could barely read it. Yeah, Mage does really good fanfic. Yes, I have read that before. A long time ago. I don't know, there's a lot of buffering. Can you reread the last few paragraphs? No! Yes, we did finish the fic. Sorry. I think I'll be uploading this to YouTube, so you can also listen to it there. Alright, so now we're gonna do one of Oni's. Why does Bishi got bug? Actually, it's sake, thank you. Thank you. It's really good. I don't even know how much of it I've had. Oh, you missed the ending! Oh, goddamn. Okay, I can say the ending. It was funny. Let's see. They lied there, panting heavily, coming down from their highs in peaceful silence. After a little while, Ryoma stood up, causing Okita to sit up confused, until he noticed the cloth and water in Ryoma's hands. And in fact, I had aesthetic rain in the background while I did this. Aren't you an angel? He chuckled as Ryoma cleaned the drying up off his body. I think you said dragon earlier, Ryoma replied, his voice rougher than usual. Okita laughed again, watching Ryoma clean himself up with a soft smile. The smile only widened when Ryoma leant down and brushed his lips against Okita's in a sweet gesture of love. Hey, Ryoma-chan? You ready for round 2? I am if you are. The end. Okita bouncing on a crazy style, I think. You must bounce on it! Crazy style! So anyway, how we doing? Possesses you. What's his name? Starts with an O. The spirit of, it's not Olaf. I'm trying to remember his name. Orlok! Orlok! What did Bishi say? I wasn't here. Say it again. I just saying you must bounce on it crazy style. That's it. You must bounce on it. Crazy style. You know? You know, like crazy style. Oh, welcome in, Olivia. Good to see you. How you been? Pirate Majima, you look great. Thank you. Oh my god, thank you. You're embarrassing me. Hope you've been doing good. We're doing a special stream tonight. I am dramatically reading fanfic. Let me get some normal music in here. We're doing some dramatic fanfic reading. It is 18 plus, but I am censoring the most explicit parts with silly sound effects, which has been very fun so far. Yeah, that's what we're up to today. We are going to be doing a fic from Oni next. Oni, do you have a preference for one of the fics? Do you want to do the watermelon one or the talent one? Let me know. And I'll do that one first, and then we're going to do the fic that Aenne wrote a long time ago. And then another one from Panda. Hidden Talents, okay. And we might get to both, I just want to make sure, you know, the one that you really want me to do, we get it done. Alright. Well, this one's gonna be Majima and Saejima. So this was written by Oni in chat. I should have been putting links the whole time. Okay, here we go. That is the fic we're about to read. I'm trying to get my bot up and running. Give it a second. Okay. This is so serious. Okay. I like just starting the playlist over, honestly. Because the first few songs are normal. Okay, here we go. Majima seriously wrapped this thing in gold paper. Nice thick paper, too. With these green stripes all over it. This stuff felt too extravagant to wrap something in, and it sure as hell felt way too nice to just rip into. Saijima's fingers found the seams and ripped through the tape with his fingernails, then carefully removed the thick paper, revealing a nice red box underneath. Judging by the shape and how soft this felt, it was a piece of clothing of some kind. Did he get him a suit? Pajamas? Or maybe he got him several packs of underwear to be a dick. Not like Saejima would mind if he did. He could just feel Majima gazing at him in giddy anticipation. He looked pretty happy handing it over to him, downright joyful even. After all, this was their first real Christmas Eve together in, what was it, over 30? It's just in time for the holidays! On theme! The last time it was in Saijima's cramped apartment with a tiny artificial tree. Yasuko had even crafted a paper chain garland and made some ornaments out of cereal boxes, tempera paint, and twine. Majima had stuck a bow on a 6-pack of beer and handed it to him. Saejima remembered finding a bottle of cheap cologne and a konbini and doing a half-assed job of wrapping it. "You smell so fucking bad, I figured it'd help a little," Saejima had quipped when he opened it. He threw the fist across his shoulder and a hail of obscenities, even if Majima was barely hiding a smirk. Saejima was now holding a mid-sized box wrapped in fancy gold paper and sitting on a nice soft couch by a huge tree that took up a whole corner of a big penthouse at Kamurocho Hills. That damn tree even came with built-in lights. You could take a little remote control to change the colors and make them flash with a push of a few buttons. Even play goddamn music! What a fucking trip. Their first Christmas Eve in over 30 years, and they were going all out. As weird as this seemed to Saejima, he knew they damn well deserved this. This was the kind of thing he dreamed of back then, and it was happening. It involved decades away, a lot of scars, and a destroyed eye, and a lot of heartache. But right now, it felt a lot like coming full circle. Here they were, properly enjoying the holiday like the old farts they were, sitting on the couch in pajamas, unwrapping gifts they gave each other. Saejima could still see Majima glance down repeatedly at the blue velvet box now resting on the coffee table. Inside was a fancy silver watch with a black dial Majima had been hinting he wanted since seeing it in a storefront. Saejima also threw in a pair of pearl clip-on earrings for Goromi-chan. Oh! Saejima would never forget his wide smile and happy laugh when he opened the box. "God damn, Kyoda, you sure know how to treat a dude," he marveled. He sure as hell could afford this kind of stuff now, and it felt real good to get fancy. Saejima now carefully folded the paper from his own gift and put it on the arm of the couch. "You unwrap presents like a fucking old man, too," Majima just had to add. "That's 'cause you had to buy the fanciest goddamn paper for fucking Christmas presents," Saejima chided back. He looked to his side to see Majima's one eye rolling as he shook his head. "You gotta live a little, Grandpa," Majima shot back, picking a piece of lint off his red flannel pajama pants. Yeah, I am living a little. Just saving it for another time, you know." Majima just tissed and shook his head. Saejima gently removed the cover from the box and saw a mass of white tissue paper with little blue snowflakes all over it. He dug into it and pulled some out until he saw a pile of green fabric. He stopped and took in what he was seeing before gently pulling it out of the box. It was a cotton garment in a bright green color with a forest pattern in different colors of greens, yellows, grays, and even golds. On closer inspection, it was a yukata. The obi was tucked inside, a dark brown color trimmed with black ribbon. The colors were bold, but he really liked them. The fabric was really soft, too. He could only imagine how comfortable this was. He looked at Majima and saw a little gleam in his eye, and the most genuine smile he had seen on his face in a long time. "Kyodai," Saejima semi-gasped, Majima's smile widening, though looking more like a cat ate the canary grin. "This is friggin' beautiful." "You like it?" Majima asked, that grin only getting wider. "Yeah, I do. I freaking love it." Saejima got up and wrapped it around himself, tucking in all the right places and tying on the obi. It fit amazing. The sleeve length was especially perfect. Majima was practically squirming in his seat. God damn if you didn't pick this right. Desty, welcome in! A 15 stream streak, oh my god. That's amazing. Fancy, yes, a fancy one. I love everything about this already. Been so busy, haven't been able to catch many streams. Totally understandable, no worries at all. What a stream to come back to. You should have been here like 40 minutes ago. We were in the middle of a very, very spicy fic with Ryoma and Okita. Oh my god. This one's very cute so far. I love it. After this one, I think we're doing one from my friend Aenne, from when they were in high school. So that one's gonna be fun. Looking forward to that too. All right, let's see. I love it. Yeah. God damn if you didn't pick this right. You kidding? I don't know how to pick clothes for your huge ass by now. I don't know, my huge ass can be tough to figure out. Damn, even the sleeves are great. You want to know how many times I put one on at an onsen and it's like a t-shirt? See? That's why I paid attention to this shit. Where'd you get it? Found it online. Stumbled on this crafter page by some starving college grad doing commission work. She knew her yukata and had a nice sob story, so I felt bad and did something. God damn. Ain't that amazing? The whole digital marketplace. You need an artisan. You don't hunt down someone's... you need an artisan. You don't hunt down someone's storefront or in the yellow pages. You go to the web. Blows my mind. Welcome to the 21st century, old man. Majima playfully slapped Saejima on the shoulder. Yeah. Saejima batted his hand away. He then leaned toward Majima and planted a kiss on his lips. Majima let out a little purr and kissed him back. Still a pretty fucking awesome gift. You're welcome, Majima snarked, then gave him another wet kiss. Wet! This one lasted quite a bit longer. The first thing he heard when he woke up was Majima snoring as usual. Saejima lifted his head off the pillow and looked at the clock, seeing it was just after 7 a.m. Getting ready for bed, but I'll try my best to stay awake. Yeah, I'll be doing the high school fic next. I'll be doing it next. Christmas morning. 7 a.m. Christmas morning. Saejima smiled to himself at the thought. He tried to lay his head back down and get a few extra Z's, but this was his usual wake-up time anyway, and the buzzsaw next to him wasn't sleeping. This was as good a time as any to get up. He peeled himself out of bed, trying not to wake Majima. He knew how much of a light sleeper he was, and when he was in dreamland, it was best to let him stay there. Saejima took a look outside, seeing a light dusting of snow over everything on the ground, and some more clouds of snow floating in the sky. It was so pretty. Kamurocho really looked dressed for Christmas. Saejima suddenly had the urge to get some fresh air, or rather his inner child wanted to go out and play in the snow, even if it wasn't that much. He threw on some clothes, gathered the essentials, and left a note on the table for Majima that he was going for a little walk. Saejima was soon out the door and in the lobby. As much as he wanted to see the snow, the bustle in the mall called out to him first, and he found himself walking around. Then, one of the cafes had photos of these scrumptious-looking strawberry shortcakes in the window, and he felt compelled. Why not have strawberry shortcake for breakfast? Washed down with a big mocha, of course. Ooh, that sounds good as hell! That sounds very good. Yeah, no one likes a dry kiss, right? I'm seeing a theme in the fics with wet kisses. Most of them are, I guess. Oh my god. He said wetly. I know, I can't get over that. Oh. After some mall walking and breakfast, it was finally onto the snow. The brisk air hit him immediately as he walked out the main entrance. It looked like everything was dusted in powdered sugar. It was such a lovely sight. The plastic Christmas trees placed around the building had that same dusting over them, which looked so festive. Everyone in Kamurocho was going about their normal business, bundled up in coats, gloves, and hats. The sidewalks were adorned with footprints, and clouds of snowy dust kicked up every time a car drove by. Saejima shoved his hands in his coat pockets and walked alongside Kamurocho Hills, sometimes jogging through the courtyards. Then, he crossed Park Boulevard and trod along the sidewalk. He got to the end of the street when someone called out to him. Merry Christmas, Saejima-san! He looked up to see a familiar plump lady in a blue dress and pink coat walking up to him. Oh, he smiled and waved, walking closer to Hana, Akiyama's secretary. Sorry, I don't know who it would be. Fawn! Welcome in, Fawn. Hello. Excuse you look amazing. Oh my god. Thank you. This is probably my favorite costume right now, I'm gonna be honest. But the only reason I'm wearing it is because chat voted for it. So thank you, chat. It's always fun wearing this. I've been cosplaying this character for a long time, probably since like 2018, 2019, But recently there was a pirate version of the game that came out. And that's why I have like the pirate thing going on. So yeah, Ruuuvo made this costume for me, by the way. Just putting that out there. I didn't make it, but my Ruuuvo did. They do amazing. I'm the model. The Maji model. Yeah, welcome in, Fawn. Glad to have you. We're doing some dramatic fanfic reading. We just got finished doing a very, very, very spicy fanfiction. I did read a fanfic from Aenne earlier as well, a Palia fanfic. And right now we're reading a fic from someone else in chat, Oni. Bishi's an amazing cosplayer and Ruuuvo's an amazing crafter. Thank you. Thank you, Aenne. I've only made one costume before, and I think it came out pretty good. I made my my Giorno. I think I have a picture of it here. That's like the one costume I can say I made completely by myself, and it was so fucking hard. It was hard as hell. So yeah, Ruuuvo is amazing. This is made from scratch, like from nothing, from a pile of fabric. Like I can't wrap my head around it sometimes. Charisma, nerve, talent, uniqueness. Charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent. Exactly. Yeah, I think my Giorno's on there. If you don't know who Giorno is, let me go look at the website real quick. It is it'll be like the third row down on the left. It's those couple pictures with the pink outfit and the blonde hair with little donuts. That's Giorno from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. So that's the first cosplay, like, with full clothing I've made before by myself. And of course, Ruuuvo, like, gave me instruction and stuff. But I cut the fabric, I sewed the fabric and everything, so. Ruuuvo did help me with the wig, though, I'm gonna be honest! Because that's, like, probably one of the hardest wigs you can do. It's, like, literally a circle of hair. Like, I've styled wigs before, but I wasn't gonna be able to do that. But I did make the costume, so I was really proud of myself for that. I could not move my arms above like this, but but you know what? It looked good, so it's fine. But yeah, pretty much any other costume you see that's like made from scratch was done by Ruuuvo, so I always give them credit. They're amazing. I don't know how they do it. Yeah, that's some of my costumes. Ruuuvo's in there too. Ruuuvo made the costume out of dust. They were just like magic. Sometimes cosplay is pain. Oh, it's so much pain. So much. I lost my mind so many times. Hopefully Bishi will be back to normal next stream and we won't have to have a pirate intervention. Oh my god. I can't wait for the fanfic references in future streams. It's great. Okay, anyway, this is like a perfect song. Wait, this is a perfect song for this fic because it's like a cute little piano. Okay, we'll get back into it. Get back into it. Saejima shoved his hands in his coat pockets and walked alongside Kamurocho Hills, sometimes jogging through the courtyards. Then, he crossed Park Boulevard and trod along the sidewalk. He got to the end of the street when someone called out to him, "Merry Christmas, Saejima-san!" He looked up to see a familiar plump lady in a blue dress and pink coat walking up to him. He smiled and waved, walking closer to Hana, Akiyama's secretary. I love that Hana makes an appearance. "Oh, Merry Christmas, Hana-chan," he greeted. "What brings you out this morning?" "Hunting for sugar," she replied. "I was making cookies this morning, but ran out. Silly me thought I could just go out and get some, but I guess every store in Kamurocho's out. So stupid. You think someone would have some somewhere. Then I remembered Kamurocho Hills had a little store, so I'm gonna try there." "Luck with that. Last I checked, they still had a ton of stuff." "That's what I'm hoping. Maybe no one's figured out to go there yet and I'm onto something." "Well, hope you find some. Making them for yourself? Family?" "Everyone, pretty much. I like to make little gift boxes. Something after the holiday to spread the cheer. Everyone's so gloomy after the holiday. I like to brighten things up with some baked love." "Ah, good for you," Saejima chuckled. Saejima suddenly saw a familiar snakeskin jacket rush past his vision. Saejima looked up to get a glimpse of Majima jogging across the street. He waved to him, but Kyodai didn't notice as he sprinted into an alleyway. Red flag went up in Saejima's mind. It was early Christmas morning and Kyodai was running off at a full run. He didn't see anyone else behind him, meaning the cavalry wasn't coming out. "Hey, I gotta take care of something. I gotta get going," Saejima told Hana. "Oh, all right," Hana replied. By her tone, it was clear she noticed something. Have a great day, Saejima-san." "You too. Tell Akiyama I said hi." "Will do, Saejima-san." Sajima gave her a parting wave and started walking in the direction Majima was going. He took out his phone and found no texts or missed calls. Sajima immediately thought something was going on and he was going to help his brother out on this. Sajima kept to a steady walk, occasionally managing a jog, though not wanting to draw too much attention. Finally, he saw Majima in a full run toward a metal door in the back of a building where he opened and disappeared. Sajima sprinted to the door before it closed. Now we need like a dramatic song. There's so many like cute songs. There's some good like tense songs. Let's see. Oh yeah, tension. Let's go for tension. Yeah. Sajima sprinted to the door before it closed, but it slammed anyway. He took a cautious pull on the handle and it opened right up. He got into business mode. Who knew what kind of situation was waiting in this building? This was the prime location for an ambush. Majima could certainly use some backup, though Sajima was keeping on guard. He entered the musty hallway of a typical rundown building, though one that had been maintained at least sometime this year. He took quick, yet careful steps across the stained green carpet, following the sounds of steps running up the metal stairs. Sajima tried to keep as quiet as he could, running up the stairs, lest it alert whoever they were going to be dealing with, and not try to spook Majima either. He heard the steps enter into an upstairs hallway and saw the fire door swing above him. He ran up the rest of the stairs and opened up the door Majima slammed, entering the hallway. He then saw one open door down the hall, a quick warning going up in his head. This could be a trap, specifically for him. Someone could have known he would take the bait and be waiting for him. He squared up his fists while rushing through the door, though taking extra looks around corners. Sajima took a few quick steps through the door, thankful at the abundance of natural light coming through a series of windows. He took a few more steps forward, right as Majima was running back in his direction. Majima almost tripped over his feet, but caught himself with a hand on the wall. Kyodai? The fuck? Majima yelled. Giving you some backup, bro, Sajima murmured. Where's the bastards? Sajima took a cautious look around the room, catching the glimpse of a white sewing machine at the end of the room and a series of work tables covered in cloth and various sewing tools. A sweatshop, maybe? Or maybe someone's studio. He wasn't seeing any figures waiting to spring at them. Majima leaned against the wall, mouth hanging open and sputtering incoherently, and eye blinking so hard he could almost feel the wind. He looked a mix between shocked and pissed. The fuck are you talking about? Majima yelped. Sajima took another look around, then at Majima's incredulous expression. It was now sinking in. Maybe he just bum-rushed a completely different situation. Oh, shit, Sajima gasped. I thought you were in a situation. I saw you sprinting like hell across the street. Figured something was going down. But Sajima looked down, trying to piece together what was going on. You fucking thought something was going down? Majima growled. Like, fucking what? I fucking saw you running in here. The instincts kicked in, but Sajima could feel his face burning. Fucking dumbass, aren't I? Yeah, kinda. I'm sorry, Kyodai. I didn't mean to crush whatever you got going on like a dick. Sajima apologized with a corresponding hand motion and a bow. He glanced toward the windows again and caught a look at something that immediately grabbed his attention. A familiar fabric pattern. He looked up and saw the scraps of that same green woodland fabric he took out of the box last night. His brows furrowed and he took a step forward. Wait, is that... Majima rubbed his goatee and looked to the side. Was he blushing? Well, shit, he groaned. Sajima marched over to the table. Sure enough, there was a curved scrap of the exact same fabric. Sajima took a closer look at the setup. I just realized what's going on. Noting the green thread in the machine, and there was the same brown fabric from the obi tucked next to it. Right next to the machine was what looked like a sack made from red fabric with little black polka dots. He then looked over at the other tables and one of those sewing mannequins in the corner with some suede and a peacock feather print pinned on it. He looked at Majima, seeing his back against the wall and staring at the floor. Face beat red. A few things were starting to sink in. Kyodai, Sajima gasped. Is this all yours? Oh, fuck me, Majima quietly groaned. Yes, this is all mine, all right. Fuck, I can't believe this. You mean you made that yukata? Yes, Kyodai, I made that yukata, Majima admitted. Eye tightly closed like he was forcing out the words. Yes, Kyodai, I fucking sew shit in my spare time like a little old fucking lady. Even rented out a space for my little craft nook. Go ahead and laugh all you want. Say I went soft, have at it. He motioned at himself with both hands. Oh. Sajima felt like he just got punched in the gut. His own bro didn't trust him with something like this. He wanted to be mad, but he couldn't. He understood the reluctance. It was something that had been built into them, and it was best to shake it out. You kidding me, bro? Think I'd spit on this? Sajima took a few steps towards Majima. Hell no, I swear I'd never. This is fucking amazing. You know how to do all this? Majima carefully looked at Sajima with an expression of profound doubt. Sajima walked closer to him, but kept ready to catch a punch. For fuck's sake, girl, you got some damn talent. Majima's body language slowly relaxed, and he took an extra step towards Sajima. You wouldn't be bullshitting me, would you? I ain't bullshitting nothing. Really am damn impressed right now. Majima swayed his head. Sajima could just see every word gradually sinking in through that tough armor. He finally sighed. Oh wait, we need better music. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. He finally sighed. I'll take it if you're giving it. If there's one thing I know about you, bro, it's you don't pull punches. Got that right. I'm telling you straight. You gotta be proud of this talent you got. He walked right up to Majima and cautiously kissed his cheek. Majima managed to smile and kissed him back on the lips. Oh. You know, I just came here because of this. Majima put his hand up and showed his black leather wallet. Sajima chuckled. That's what you were running for? God damn, I saw you taking off and thought something was going down. Yeah, it was. I left my fucking wallet on the cutting table last night. Goddamn thing has some cards I use for family stuff. Don't want that lying around. Woke up, saw your note, then remembered this damn thing. Just got up, threw some clothes on, and ran the fuck out. Sajima let out a roaring laugh. Boy, I feel like a dumbass now. You are a dumbass. Good thing you're cute. Majima rested his head on Sajima's shoulder for a second before pulling back up. Oh well, about time I stop hiding it. Feel kinda like a dumbass myself for thinking you'd be weird about this. Well, yeah, you are a dumbass because you knocked my socks off. Sajima ruffled Majima's hair. How long you been doing this? He had a sudden realization that made his jaw drop. Was it Yoshiko? I remember she had this machine, this thing I fished out of a landfill. She used to fix stuff, made a few things with it if I remember. I remember you were watching her awful close while she was making something. You're right. She even let me sew something. Didn't know what I was doing. Figured I'd sew my finger, but I got the hang of it. It was really in Sotenbori though, sunshine. Anytime a girl tore a hem or broke a strap, I learned how to mend things. Then started altering dresses. See, the Grand had tailors and dressmakers on retainer. Sunshine, though, had nothing. When I got out, I kind of fucked around with it for a bit. A bit from time to time. A few things were slipping into good of me. Here you told me about a pink snakeskin dress. Yep, I made that like a year before. What about that jacket you're wearing? Thought it was custom. It is. Leather's a bitch to work with, so I usually don't do it. Might throw a few leather details in something, but that's it. How long you had this place? I need a water break. This is really good, Oni. I love it. It's very sweet. You see, when you went away that last time, things got awful quiet. I got restless. After all that shit we went through in 12, plus pushing closer to 50, figured I wanted to do better by myself, find more constructive things to do than the usual shit. So I started sewing again when I got off time. Next thing I know, I'm playing around with bigger stuff. Monos, gowns. Not just for myself, neither. One of the boys had a girlfriend who needs a nice dress, or a kid who wanted a costume. I'd have Nishida get the measurements. I'd say I'd get it made as a perk for earning, but it was all me wanting to do something. Wanting something to do that wasn't business. Got lots of thanks and compliments for nice work. Figured I was doing pretty good. Made some hats and bags. Got sold online too. Jacked the price up because they're so rare or some shit. Figured I wanted a bigger space nice and tucked away, so rented this place before that shit hit the fan last year. Majima looked back at the tables. So many materials Majima worked with himself to make such lovely things. One of those lovely things went on his own body after his bath last night. In fact, Goro actually made that, gave him this strong warmth in his heart. Majima smiled and gave a hearty nod. So you thought when I got back and found out about this little hobby, I'd give you a shit for it. I don't know. I know you ain't the type, but guess I was kind of embarrassed. Yakuza patriarch busting heads and making dresses in his little workshop. Come on, Kyodai. You know dudes who do weirder. I know, but you get me. Yeah, I get you. But you don't need to be embarrassed. Working with your hands heals you. You take that stress on the material. That goes through my brain when I'm carving something. Something healing keeps you happier and alive longer. Shit, that's right. You're into this arts and crafts stuff too. That's... oh, shit. I know what you're gonna say. It's manly. Dudes do that. Come on, bro. You're beyond that and you know it. Yeah, but you know how it goes. I know. Something you gotta unlearn. Majima gave a reluctant nod. Majima looked back at the sewing machine in that red sack. So what you making now? Majima looked over at the sewing machine. I was making a little bag for Hana-chan, Akiyama's secretary. Majima chuckled and nodded. You know, I ran into her right before I saw you take off. No kidding. Small fucking world. Anyway, poor girl goes through too much with her space case of a boss. Thought I'd make something nice. She can haul files or bentos in it, whatever she wants. She seems to like bold colors too, but more traditional stuff, so that's it. Was aiming to have it for Christmas, but got ahead of myself making that yukata. Which is fucking beautiful. Sajima could still see a tinge of pink in Kyodai's cheeks. She's gonna love it. Maybe a little late, but it's the thought and all that. That's my thought. I'll get it to her next week. Sajima nodded and looked back at it again when a sudden idea came to him. You think you could do some stitches now, maybe? Like, I'm kinda curious to see you at work. Majima furrowed his brows and smirked. Really want to see me doing this? Yeah, I do. Want to see how it works. A few minutes, maybe, if you're up for it. Majima rolled his eye and snickered, then looked up to the ceiling in contemplation. His gaze went back to Saejima. Better step back, because I'm about to show you some skills. Saejima chuckled. That's what he wanted to hear. Majima walked to the sewing table, pulled back the chair, and jumped over the back, flopping to a sit. He wiggled his fingers and picked up the bag with one hand, and a cloth cupcake that Saejima noticed was a pincushion. Oh, a cupcake! Saejima leaned against the sewing table and watched Majima get right to work, turning the bag inside out and revealing a black lining. He pinned a finished cloth handle onto the main bag. His slender fingers worked so nimbly, pinning all the right places, then slipping it under the presser foot, sewing carefully yet swift stitches. He was in a zone right now. It was impressive to watch. If there was one thing he knew about Majima, it was he did everything with passionate determination. He loved seeing this energy go into creating something. Too often in this life, such passions were meant for destruction. Here, he was bringing something to life. This entertaining, Kyodai? Majima asked. Majima quickly met his gaze, seeing an amused smirk. He now realized how pulled in he'd been. Hell yeah, it's fascinating, he responded. Love watching you work. Really know your stuff. Majima's smile widened. Saejima only saw a genuine look of joy on his face. You know, we ought to make something together. Like, I don't know, a doll, maybe? I could carve it. Oh wait, sorry, this is Saejima speaking, I'm sorry. You know, we ought to make something together. Like, I don't know, a doll, maybe? I could carve it. You could make the clothes. Give it to a poor kid, or raffle it off for charity. I like that idea. You got good ideas, you know? And lots of good ideas. Saejima tousled Majima's hair. Majima got back into work mode. Okay, I'm gonna finish this strap up and we're gonna get out of here and get breakfast. How about that? I like that just fine. I did kind of have breakfast earlier. Kinda? Yeah, some strawberry shortcake in the cafe. Majima cackled. What are you, 8? It's Christmas morning, what the hell? Still got room for actual food? You need to ask. Majima shook his head and smiled. You're buying, though. That's what you get for bum rushing my space. I'll get something real nice. That make up for it? Majima gazed at him with a warm smile. You don't need to make up for nothing. Just give me some damn food. I can do that. Majima gave him one more long gaze, then looked back down to his work. The end! The end! That was so sweet. Where's my... There we go. Long gaze! Long gaze! That was very cute. I loved it! Thank you for sharing with us, Oni. It was a very cute story. Yeah, I like the dialogue too. That was really good. I loved it. Okay, so for this one, let me play my normal playlist. Maybe not that. I want to play FF7 music for the FF7 fic, But I know for a fact that it's like super copyrighted. Let's see. And this is the real ancient text because this is from fanfiction.net. This is not even on AO3. Oh my god. This is where I first posted too. But mine were Twilight fanfictions. When I was in middle school. So the next fic we're gonna read is from Aenne in chat. My good friend Aenne. But these are from when Aenne was in high school. So keep that in mind. Oh yeah, maybe like some Kingdom Hearts music? Yeah, let's see. That might not be as copyrighted. I just remember when I streamed Kingdom Hearts, I think it was actually more like on YouTube when I uploaded, not Kingdom Hearts, sorry, FF7, the remake. Like Tifa's theme, no, Aeris theme was copyrighted and I was like, what the hell? Okay, Kingdom Hearts. Let's do Kingdom Hearts instrumental. Yeah, we don't have a lot of time left. My goodness. We might go a little later though. All right, let's see. Kingdom Hearts instrumental. 3 hours of relaxing Kingdom Hearts music. See what we got here. Okay, we got a little playlist here for instrumental music. So hopefully that's not too copyrighted. Okay, but just, do you know, there are a ton of inside jokes I had with my friend Carrie at the time. Okay, so yeah, it's gonna be very high schooler writing a fanfic. Like, everyone keep that in mind, okay? This was from a long time ago, over 20 years old, according to Aenne. So, hold your judgments. Just enjoy the cringe. Yes, enjoy it. Yeah, Square Enix is brutal with copyright. Like, this is probably copyrighted, honestly. It probably is, but I can always mute it later, I guess. Let's just make it super quiet. Just barely. Oh my god. Yeah, old school fanfic. One Winged Angel Kazuka. I won't lie, this feels like I'm being read bedtime, so stories, yes. Especially that one. That one was very sweet. Okay, the fic that Oni wrote was done for a Secret Santa thing a few years ago. They wanted fluffy Sayamaji, and I had an idea. That is so cute. And I do have a question before we get into the next one. Do you have experience sewing, or was that all from, like, research that you did? Because I could tell you knew what you were talking about. As someone who is sewn. It's cringe, I'm sorry. Never apologize. Never apologize. You are so brave for sharing your old fanfics. Do not be embarrassed. Okay. This was a different Aenne. Alright, let's do it. So this one is called FF7 Heaven's Angels. I'm gonna read the summary. Okay, I absolutely have experience sewing. I've made several costumes and others. Okay, that explains it. Here's a summary. What happens when two rapid FF7 fans get sucked into the very game they love? It changes everything. Sephiroth, with a hot British accent, I might add. Oh, okay, I'm excited for that. Is now the savior of the world. And Aeris, well, she's a stupid head anyway. It's funny, I promise. It has come to my attention that this story needs an intro, just because. Now, we all know Final Fantasy is the bestest game ever. But does it have the best fanfics? That is what Carrie and I are trying to prove. Or not. Anyway, FF7 rocks! And on with the story. Aenne! Aenne! Carrie whined, turning around in her twirly chair. Help me! I can't get past the ladder, it's so confusing! She pouted. Carrie had been stuck on this ladder for the past month or so, and now her friend Aenne was over and could possibly help. Coming! Aenne responded, standing from the couch. I'm coming. She made her way over to the computer that Carrie sat at, whimpering. She looked down at the screen and observed Carrie's doings. Did you press the enter button? Anna asked bluntly. Yeah? Carrie trailed off, thinking off the many a times she had in fact pressed the enter button. Won't work. Let me try, Anna suggested. Carrie kindly got out of the swirly chair, which Anna soon took over. This is how you do it. Anna pressed the buttons so little Cloud could walk to the ladder and find his way to the city of the ancients. When she pressed the enter button, nothing happened. Eh? That's strange. I know, it won't work, Carrie lamented. Anna pondered about what she had done wrong. She had learned from the best Nintendo gods, aka her brother and his friends, about every video game there is to know, and FF7 was no exception. It was her most loved game, and yet she could not even pass the simple task. That darn ladder! After countless efforts, Anna's patience grew thin. Darn it! Why is this not working? With rage, Anna started typing in different keys, hoping something would happen. Well, something did happen, but the two girls had least expected. They were sucked into the video game. FF7, Heaven's Angels. The girls had fallen from the sky and onto a very hard surface. They quickly got up, dusting themselves off and glancing around at these new surroundings. They found themselves on a green grassy field. Harry looked out upon the meadow. We are in the game! Anna shouted ecstatically. One of her many dreams was coming true. OMG! Carrie! She grabbed a hold of Carrie and spun her around. This is possibly the happiest day of my life! I can't believe it! We're actually in Final Fantasy VII! You mean? Carrie asked. Anna nodded slyly. My sexy Cloud! Yep. And my brother! Oh yes, a sexy Sephiroth! While Carrie and Anna were drooling and dreaming of their loves, a crowd of people formed in the distance. I have to say, this is basically what I wrote about Twilight. Yeah. We are of the same cloth. I put all my little friends from middle school in it. Yeah. Hey, look over there. There's two girls, Cloud said to his fellow traveling buddies. That's what they appear to be, Tifa agreed with them. Yo, you can't trust them. They could be the enemies, Barrett shouted at the group. So, Yuffie stated, at least we can steal from them. She grinned and rubbed her hands together in satisfaction. Oh, I don't know who Kate Sith is. I think we should go check it out, Kate Sith offered. Yes, they could be allies with some information. Vincent loomed in the back of the group with Red 13 at his side. I love how every single character is speaking. It's settled then, Sid roared. Let's go! Sid ran off waving his lance in the air. He charged to the two blondes at a rapid speed, the rest following after. Carrie saw something approaching and stopped rejoicing. What's that? Anna turned her head. Bad guys? The girls' screams mixed in with Sid's battle cries as they stood there very nervous and very afraid. Stop that, Cloud said as he saw the smaller blonde jump into the arms of the other, who looked utterly confused. What? Tifa asked as she looked at the way Cloud was eyeing the up in the air blonde. She didn't like it one bit. With that, she stuck her nose in the air as her long brown hair swayed with the movements of her head. I suppose you're right, Vincent said as he took a seat on the nearby rock. Man, am I craving some stealing, Yuffie said as she began to sneak past Cloud, only to be stopped by Barrett's somewhat hand, but it was a gun because of his past. That is very, very sad, I may add. I mean, come on, it wasn't his fault. Stupid logs. Hold on, you guys, we're with you, Anna said as she dropped Carrie to the ground, causing a large dust cloud to appear before the others. Run! Anna screamed as she saw they were distracted. Carrie coughed as she saw her friend running the other way. Hey! Carrie screamed as she realized she had been officially ditched, even though it was not National Ditch Carrie Day. That's November 30th. That's in 4 days! Where are you going? Carrie said as she stood and began to run after the Star Trek team member. If there's one thing you learn from playing FF7, never let them catch you, Anna said as she ran quicker, leaving Carrie in the dust. Oh, Carrie thought as she continued running while scratching her chin. It was true. Every time the people talked to them, they ended up dying. After them, Red whatever barked as he began to run, and since he's on all fours, it was much easier for him to run. This is definitely copyrighted. These are definitely copyrighted. Okay. Anyway. Okay, Red whatever barked as he began to run, and since he's on all fours, it was much easier for him to run faster, and so soon enough, he caught up to Carrie, who was so horribly out of shape since she stopped swimming. Carrie! Anna screamed as she saw the ugly red dog thing attack her friend. She ran back and kicked Red whatever with a ninja kick that he would never forget. Wow, go, Anna! Carrie said as she jumped up and down while clapping her hands together. Man, she took him out with one kick, Tifa said, astonished. Yo, Red, you okay? Barrett asked as he walked up to his fallen partner. Yes, but I don't understand where her power came from, Red said as he stood to his paws and wavered slightly. They may be valuable assets to the team as we continue, Vincent said in a low voice as they all walked up to the two out-of-breath girls. I think that blonde one that looks older might that can actually run, but the other one will be excess baggage, Sid said as he placed his trident over his shoulder. You mean like Kate Sith? Yuffie said as she pointed at the stupid character that made it so hard for them to beat that one part of the game that was hard and it was mean. What? Anna asked as she stood and brushed herself off. Would you like to join us? Tifa asked, smiling. Yeah, Sephi, here we come, Anna said as she smiled in return. How did you know about Sephiroth? Cloud asked, astonished. I don't know, Anna said as she scratched the top of her head. Well, what are we gonna do about that one? Sid said as he began to poke Carrie's side with the trident. Ouch! Carrie said as she grabbed her side that had been maliciously poked at her entire life. Well, we can leave her here, Tifa said as she clung to Cloud's arm. No, we can't do that. She's my brain twin, Anna said as she hugged a misty Carrie. We can leave you and then steal from her and abandon her, Yuffie said, excited. No, we can't do that, Cloud said as he broke away from Tifa's grasp and walked over to Carrie, who was still looking at the ground. Will you come with us? He asked quietly. Harry looked up at the massive cloud that was Cloud. As the background faded away to black, his hair drew so gently in the slight breeze. Almost out of nowhere, a sly look came upon his face as the song Let's Get It On began to echo in the abyss. Let's get it on. Oh. Following shortly after was a disco ball that made the moment a true drooling experience. Suddenly, his purple whatever outfit was replaced with a white dress shirt that was so continentally unbuttoned and blowing away from his with the wind that had picked up. He ran his fingers through his gorgeous blonde hair as his body moved back and forth to the beat. Oh my god. Anna snapped at her friend, seeing that she was in a daze. Carrie, though, was refusing to give up her wonderful daydream, and Cloud was staring at the fantasizing Carrie oddly. Anna then realized there was only one way to get Carrie to come back to the video game Earth: steal one of her men. Oh my god. Oh, I love you too, Vegeta, Anna said as she swooned by the tree. Carrie instinctively picked up on the sound of her man's name and ran to Anna and grabbed the collar of her shirt and brought her other fist back, ready to punch. What? Carrie screamed as she realized what Anna had been saying about one of her men. Wow, her battle aura went up about 10 times, Cloud said in amazement. Well, she might be a powerful asset too, Barrett said as he stroked his gun. Yeah, I guess, Tifa said, annoyed as all the boys eyed the two. Anyway, time to help. Go team, Anna said as Carrie's eye took on the famous DBZ eye twitch. I was joking. I just wanted to get you back, Anna cried. Okay, Carrie said as she put her friend down. But don't you ever do that again! Carrie said as she imitated Y2J. I don't know what that is. Are you okay, Carrie? Cloud asked as he ran up to her side. Carrie looked at his and simply stared with a strange look on her face. The one when she met Joey, Rar. I feel loved, Anna said sarcastically. Here, I know how you feel, Kate Sith said as he walked close to Anna. Stay away, you freak! Anna said as she began to whack his head with her shoe. Die! 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 It's about time someone did that, Yuffie said as she came and aided Anna in her assault. Oh my god, I'm almost spilling my... Okay, it was empty. It's fine. Hooray! The remaining cast members said as they began to beat up the stupid person. Well, it wasn't even a person. I mean, a stupid stuffed animal. I mean, what is up with that? Carrie, here, let's break the ice. Where do you go to school? Cloud said as he placed his hand on her shoulder, making her mount. You're hot, Carrie said without thinking. What? Cloud asked as Carrie snapped back to reality. My school! Carrie said sheepishly as she made up excuses. You get good at that after SMA. Where's that? Gorgeousville. Carrie snapped back into her guilty but for his own good phase. Man, I have heard of that place, Cloud replied, smiling. You have? And Carrie replied, astonished. What classes did you have there? Sid asked, getting into the conversation. We don't want to talk about it, Carrie said as she bit her lip. It's okay, Cloud said as he hugged a somewhat fake distressed Carrie. Run! Anna said as she saw the look on Carrie's face. What? Red loser asked as he looked at Anna, who plugged her ears. With a mighty breath, Carrie squealed in the loudest voice anyone had heard before as she jumped up and down in Cloud's arms. Sexy, sexy man hugging me! Can we add that as the quote? Oh, Anna, you're going to sleep. I guess you can see the rest later in the VOD. Anna said wetly. Oh my god. That's where there's that very famous motto from Finding Nemo, just keep swimming. Carrie should have never stopped swimming. That's what you get when you stop swimming, Carrie. And a Trek star lore. Oh my god. Being an FF7 for real would actually be a nightmare. Oh, it would be terrible. Isekai before it was a genre. Oh my god. The man theft. The man theft. This is so funny. Okay. Let's see. Can we add sexy, sexy man hugging me as a quote, please? Pretty please. Sexy, sexy man hugging me. Carrie rejoiced as Tifa shot evil glares in their direction. Oh my god, wait, there's so much left. And I can't highlight. There's so much. Is this all? Okay. Oh my god. Holy shit. There's so much. Thank you for adding that quote. Oh my god. Okay. You know, this is what we did though. We would just we would write this super long story all in one chapter. It's so funny. I need to at least get to where Sephiroth pops up. Okay. Next to Sephiroth, Anna muttered. What did you say about my brother? Carrie inquired, looking up at her friend. Nothing at all, but maybe we should find out where we are, Anna pondered, and the only reason she wanted to know was to find out how far away they were from that sexy evil man. I could tell you, Kate Sith started, but was soon cut off by Carrie and Anna. No, that's okay! Anna spoke down to the little ball of fluff. So, loud. Carrie peered deep into his glowing green Mako eyes. Where exactly are we? Well, we are right outside this little digging town. We're trying to locate the city of ancients, he informed the girls. Have you gotten the harp? Anna questioned with her high intellect of FF7. Harp? Yuffie's ears perked up. Is that something we can steal? Well, Anna started dispensing wisdom. First, we have to go back to the town and ask them to dig for us. Second, we have to climb the ladder that we couldn't get on and got us in the game in the first spot. Dispensing a little too much information. Game? Vincent looked at Anna. I mean, this field! Yes, that'll do. Field! She talked to herself. What Anna means is that we must get this harp thingy so it'll let us into the city, Carrie explained. Wow, Cloud said amazed. You are so smart. I'm so glad you're coming with us. He smiled at the now blushing Carrie. Carrie laughed as she clung onto Cloud's arm and began to walk with the group. Well, it wasn't really all a group because Anna was walking with Yuffie and laughing at Kate Sith. Red whatever was with Barrett, who was annoyed. Sid was with Tifa, who was glaring at Carrie. And Vincent was all alone as usual. Well, so was Kate Sith, but the difference is that if Vincent wanted to chill with someone, he could because he is cool. Spelled K-E-W-L like that, but Kate Sith, I think not. Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. Good night, Ruuuvo. Oh my god. There was so much left. you think Aenne would forgive me? Oh, wait, no, I want to get to Sephiroth. Okay, I think we're going to get to where Sephiroth pops up. We'll stop at that one. And then we'll do one more. Let's see, the ones we have left are I Ain't Afraid of No Ghosts, that I think Panda submitted. All My Pride, which Panda submitted, which I believe Panda wrote that one. If you'd like me to prioritize that one, we could do that one. And then we have The Watermelon Experiment from Oni. We also have so many that Ruuuvo gave me that are spicy, but it is getting pretty late. I think we do have enough time to finish this one. Read All My Pride. Okay. I'm going to get to at least where Sephiroth pops up because I'm very curious what's going to happen. And then we're going to do All My Pride, and then that'll probably be the last one. I really thought we would get to more fanfics today, but it's taken some time. Okay, let's see. As the group continued, the sun began to set in the background as they realized they were nowhere near the city, and they all sat down exhausted. Well, Carrie, because she was still out of shape. The view was gorgeous as the travelers/fighters looked at the natural wonder that gave the world life. It was so simple, but it held such beauty that all agreed it was more than breathtaking. Cloud and Carrie sat on a nearby little hill. You know what? We can actually listen to whatever at this point. Let me just play this music. There we go. Okay. It's fine. Cloud and Carrie sat on a little hill as they looked at the view. Both of them were a shade of yellow because of the retreating sun. I don't know what we're going to be up against, but are you sure you can handle it? Cloud said, very serious. Don't worry about me. I'll be fine. Carrie smiled as she looked over at Cloud, who looked at her and returned the sign of affection. I don't know why, but I feel like I've known you for a long time. The self-insert is self-inserting, Cloud said as he continued to look at Carrie, who was actually shorter than her man for the first time in a while. Well, I mean, I have been playing the game for a long time, but I got stuck at the ladder, so... Oops, Carrie said as she covered her mouth as she saw the puzzled look on Cloud's beautiful face. Game? Well, we better get back to camp, Carrie said as she ran back towards the tents and so conveniently ran into Tifa, who was on her way to see Cloud. Stay away from my man, Tifa said in the worst Latina accent Carrie had ever heard. Jeez, what does she think she is, Eris? The brunette muttered to herself. Look, Carrie said a little loud, I'm sorry I bumped into you, but you never ever compare me to Eris. Ever. Wait, you don't like Eris? Tifa said, stunned. She had thought she was the only one. Well, that's good. But she quickly changed her mind back to hating Carrie. Still, you stay away! Whatever. Carrie walked off to find her buddy, who had been talking with Yuffie, the coolest ninja. And that's how you steal material, Yuffie finished her lecture. It's that easy? Cool! Anna thanked her new friend and then saw her buddy, sad, making her way over. Carrie! She yelled over to her approaching friend. Guess what? I learned how to steal. This is the coolest thing ever. I'm in a video game. You're in a video game. Cool! Anna noticed her hyperness was not totally helping Carrie's pouting face. What's wrong? It's Tifa, Carrie said, slightly lifting her eyes to meet Anna's. She thinks I'm stealing Cloud away from her, and she's all in a bad mood and yelled at me. Well, Carrie... Anna thought of a way to put this nicely, but that failed. You are. What? Carrie was totally oblivious. Don't tell me that. I've seen you be all flirty with Cloud, and he's also totally falling for you. Frankly, I'm jealous. Really? Carrie suspected it, but she still wanted the official nod, which she got from her buddy. Yay! Carrie then proceeded to do a happy dance about Cloud. Sigh, Anna sighed out loud, literally. I wonder when I'll get my Sephi-sama, his gorgeous hair and his sexy Mako eyes. I'm sure we've all heard this speech about Sephiroth, Carrie muttered as Anna's wonderful imagination took her away from the real world. Carrie, did you say something about Sephiroth? Cloud asked. Because you guys have mentioned him more than once now. He clenched his fist. I swear, if he's done anything else. We know, Cloud, Tifa said, gently putting her soft hands over his clenched ones, and looked sweetly into his eyes. Sorry. We will get him. Don't worry. Seeing this, Carrie went into a fit of anger, but was soon pushed away by Aenne and her love for Sephi. You know, she started her long speech, Sephiroth was not really that bad at all, until he went crazy. I mean, that poor man was tormented as a child, and stupid Hojo performed awful tests on him. He didn't even get to experience a nice life. All it was pain. I think I might go crazy too if that happened to me. Don't you just feel a tad bit sympathetic for him? The FS7 group stared blankly at Aenne and her craziness, but Cloud trembled at this blasphemy. Oh, but it's Sephiroth, the bad guy! He glared at the blonde. Hey now, Anna said, waving her arm. That's harsh. Carrie nudged Aenne. It would stop that, she whispered to her friend. Well, maybe you should drop it. It's a very sensitive subject to Cloud. Tifa cut off Aenne, which made Aenne also go into a fit of anger. The brunette turned again to face her love. I don't know about these girls anymore. They seem to know a lot about Sephiroth. What if they're working for him? We can't trust them. Cloud looked up at Tifa's worried eyes. Tifa, you're wrong. Cloud kindly spoke. Carrie and her friend are not the enemies. Thanks for not knowing my name. Oh, not knowing Aenne. How do you know? Tifa yelled protectively, bringing attention to herself. I don't know. I just have this feeling. That's what you're going on? A feeling? By now, Tifa was so upset, tears streamed down her face, soaking her long brown hair. Why is it wet? She glanced once at him before she ran off. Tifa! Carrie coughed a little too loud. Not to intrude on anything, but... She tried to cheer up her soon-to-be man when Cloud fell to the ground. His hand shook violently, and her covered his ears. Cloud? Cloud, are you okay? Cloud! Carrie! Aenne ran over to her friend, who had run over to Cloud. It's cool. Don't worry about Cloud. He does this a lot. It's true. Yeah, Carrie sniffled, but still, he's hurting. Aenne, realizing how important he was to her, just put her hand on her shoulder. Go on, then. Comfort him. As Cloud shook, Carrie put her arms around him and hugged him close. The more violent the shakes got, the tighter Carrie held on. She only whispered into his pale ears before Cloud came to. Carrie! He glanced up at her before he fainted. Not again, buddy, Barrett muttered as he picked up Cloud from Carrie's arms. Cloud was out, and he wouldn't return. None until they got to Bone Village, at least. Since the strongest character was not functioning, this was the perfect opportunity to level up. Carrie was given materia, knuckles, and some nice mithril armor, while Aenne got attached to a nice long blade, sort of like Masamune and also the black magic. They each got a couple of summons to accompany them for boss fights. During the travel to Bone Village, Aenne noticed Carrie was still upset and she consoled her friend. Carrie, yo, you've beaten the game. He doesn't die, except Sephiroth. Aenne got all teary-eyed. No, I don't think I can watch that. The Cloud never did this at this part of it, Carrie recollected, and she had been at that spot for a long time. Ladder, haha. I know what you mean. I know this game like I know the back of my hand, and Cloud never did it during this time. Maybe since we're here, it's changing the game. Then maybe Sephiroth won't die. Aenne got happier. Well, maybe Cloud will, Carrie mumbled softly, no one hearing her. Listen, Bone Village is close by, and then we can see the best scene in the whole game. And Cloud will be sad, Carrie moped some more. Yes, but then we'll get over it and he'll get over it and fall in love with you. Not that he already has. Hey, you guys, Barrett shouted. Listen, the village is only like a mile that way. I'm gonna run ahead for spiky ass here. I'll meet you at the inn. And Barrett literally ran off. Yuffie joined the two girls and started talking. Listen, now that Eris and Tifa are gone, we're the only girls left, and we gotta stick together for us and our sanity. And those boys? Well, they can get scary, especially at night. Sid talks in his sleep. Yuffie, get your ass back over here, Sid shouted. What the bleep are you talking about me for? The brunette thief went back over to the T-man. That's just weird, Aenne commented. I'm always Yuffie when I play. Now I'm talking to her. And that's like still only halfway through. Oh my gosh. I don't know when Sephiroth's gonna come up. I think we'll stop that fic there. I hope you understand, Aenne. I don't know when Sephiroth comes. Oh, I need to do British Sephiroth. Okay, I'm gonna skip ahead. That's what I'll do. I'll skip ahead just a little bit. Let's see. There's like a summary in the middle of the fic. Something happened, so let me fill you in. Oh my god. Let me find some lines from Sephiroth. Okay. Cloud and Aenne finally stopped being angry, and they ran to the rest of the gang, but Carrie and sexy Sephi were nowhere inside. Oh, Sephiroth's already been here. Okay, let's see. They followed him up to the glass spot where they found Sephiroth praying. What? Aenne looked disgusted, making her blonde face. What the trio saw was truly interesting. Sephiroth was kneeling down, his silver hair illuminating in the light, draped down around him, his hands cupped together, his eyes closed, and his face raised towards the heavens. He looked like an angel. Cloud growled at this sight. Carrie was laughing uncontrollably, and Aenne was very, very confused. Wait a second, she thought. Eris is supposed to be here. It's like they switched places or something. Why is my sex kitten here and not jumping from the ceiling? Wait! Something clicked into Aenne's brain. If Sephi was praying, then Eris was going to kill him. Sephiroth! Aenne shouted as loud as her voice would let her. Watch out! Sephiroth came out of trance and looked up to see Eris falling from the sky, holding the parasol, Eris's final weapon. Threateningly, he dodged just in time to avoid a severe skull bashing. He stood up in all his glory and defiantly stared at her. Why, you little... British accent. Sephiroth! Cloud continued to growl. No, he hadn't stopped. How dare you! He finally stopped growling to yell madly. Eris, run away! He's going to kill you! Kill me? Sephiroth questioned in a British accent. Oh, hot. Melts. Cocking an eyebrow. She's the one trying to kill me! Trying! He sighed as he crossed his arms. It's not like she could anyway. He disagreed, still talking in a cute little accent, still a puddle. Eris, hearing enough of this, screeched, Sephiroth, one day I'll get you, and your little dog too, she cackled. Why is she after Aenne? Carrie asked. Hey, Aenne exclaimed. Oh, don't worry, I'll never let you save the world. Never. I will use the power of Genova, and I shall be unstoppable. Hehehehe. She cackled once more before riotously dashing off into the city of the ancients. Okay, we saw Sephiroth. Alright. We're gonna stop that one there. Oh my god. Amazing. Truly. Absolutely amazing. Okay. We could do one more. One more. I realize that being prideful is a very Leo thing, which is a sign that Minami and I share. I ain't afraid of no ghost. If we have time, it's a good fic to close on. Okay. We shall do that one. Maybe we'll do another dramatic fanfic reading sometime, and we could do more fanfics. I didn't realize how long each one would take. Like, oh my god, it was a lot. Thank y'all for submitting all of these. Oh, your fic is not too long. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna read your fic, Panda. Sorry, I didn't realize how short it was. And then we'll finish off with the ghost one. Okay. I'm sorry, I didn't realize how short it was. Okay, this one is by Panda. Sorry, we're gonna switch gears real quick. This one's by Panda, called All My Pride. Minami recalls how he rejoined the Majima family to Nishida while on break at Majima Construction, as told by Minami. Okay. Let's do it. Shit. The boss is working our asses off with this whole Kamado Hills shit. I don't understand why he wanted to start a construction company anyway. But I ain't saying shit, because whatever the boss says goes. Oi, Aniki. I ever tell you how I met the boss and joined up? It all started on my 20th birthday. A couple of my homies from my biker days took me out to get my drink on. At the time, I could not stand the taste of liquor. Shit tasted like medicine to me. Still kinda does, but I'm used to it now. So anyway, the boys and I were bar hopping around the Champion District. My dude, Eikichi, suggested we go over to his buddy's bar, a joint called Earth Angel. You know the place, with the sassy mama who could grow a beard better than you. Apparently, the mama used to be one badass motherfucker back in the day. But don't tell nobody I said that. She's trying to keep a low profile and shit. Anyway, so we hit up this bar. My boys are already tipsy from the previous stops we made. They were singing karaoke, showing off the ladies there, pretending to be idols and shit. They looked so fucking dumb. I miss those assholes. That's when the boss interrupted our little party. The boss came in drunk as fuck. He was hammering drink after drink like a fucking champ. That's the first thing I noticed about him. Well, other than his... you know. He was ranting and raving about how loud and annoying my boys were. Calling them all kinds of dickbags and shit. But despite him being fucking hammered, there was something about his aura that really attracted me. Sorry, my throat is dying. The sharp, striking vibe he gave off legit pulled me in. But I could tell this motherfucker was badass, but he was also ruining the party for me and my boys. Then, one of the homies was filling up on one of the hostesses at the bar, and got a drink tossed in his face. His face turned red, either from the embarrassment, anger, or both. You decide. He grabbed her arm and called her a bitch, and next thing I knew, he had his face smashed against the wall by Majima fucking Goro. It happened so fast I wasn't even mad. It was so goddamn badass I nearly pissed myself. The boss spoke in that low, scary-ass tone. You know, like when he's really had enough of our shit and his one smart-ass comment from killing one of us to make a point. He told old Zenki-chan,
I'm having a really fucked up day, and you're pissing me off. And if there's two things that piss me off most in the world, it's drunken assholes who don't know when to quit, and the same drunken assholes harassing and putting their grumpy hands on a lady just to make themselves feel big. Now you're gonna apologize and leave the little lady alone, or I'm gonna have to apologize to the mama and pay for her cleanup bill. So, what's it gonna be?
Aniki, don't take this the wrong way, but if I were a chick, I would have creamed myself. I ain't never seen a man drunk off his ass and still have his wits about him enough to still be such a force of fucking nature. Zenkichi tried to push him away and beat his ass, but let's just say I gotta remember to go burn some incense for him this year, damn! The boss didn't take no shit from nobody, and ever since that day I've idolized him. I wanted the same kind of respect and love he got, because back then, no one respected or gave a shit about me. I didn't know my old man, and my mom worked at a soap land in order to make ends meet. Everyone knew I was a son of a whore, and treated me like one too. So, I joined a biker gang because I wanted to give those fuckers who said I wasn't shit the middle finger as I sped on down the highway in my pimped out bike. But I still ain't got the respect and love I deserved. But the boss, Majima fucking Goro, he had that in spades. Ever since then, I've worshipped the boss like a god. I didn't just want to join him, I wanted to be like him. He had money, chicks, a badass aura, and a rep to back it up. I immediately swore up as soon as I was able and joined the ranks of the Majima family. I got tatted up just to show him how dedicated I was. But that still wasn't enough. I had to show the boss that I wasn't no bitch and climb my way to the top. Problem was, I wasn't a strong fighter. In fact, I still ain't, but ain't nothing a little liquor and a lighter can't fix. The boss helped me find that out. You remember when the boss took us out for booze and karaoke? The boss offered me a glass of whiskey, his favorite brand. I never had whiskey before then, but I immediately downed the whole glass. I didn't expect the shit to burn so much, though. I held it in my mouth because I didn't want to spit it out in front of the boss. I kept it in there for as long as I could until the boss needed a smoke, and I jumped at the chance to offer him a light. But I wasn't the only one, and some dickbat pushed me as I had just lit a flame, causing me to spit the whiskey onto the flame. Luckily, I wasn't too close to the boss when I did it, but the fucker who pushed me got the worst of it. But the way the boss looked when he saw that was everything I could have wished for. He made me junior lieutenant that night. Ah shit, sounds like break time's over. Hey, why don't we go out for karaoke tonight? All that talking about booze and karaoke got me jonesing for it. Boy, don't give me that look. I'm gonna sing with all my pride. I ain't the strongest, but my voice is the sweetest, and you know it. The end. That was interesting that it was from Minami's perspective. It was very much in Minami's voice. Very much so. That was great. Short and sweet. Alright. So we'll get back to the ghost hunting one. My voice is very dead, but I do want to do this one more. I'm like scrolling down. Scrolling. Oh my god, this is so long. Oh, I don't know if I can do it. Made my fics sound awesome. Thank you for reading. Yeah, of course. Thank you for submitting it. I've had a lot to drink tonight. And it's like 1:30 a.m. and my voice is dead. Should we just call it there, or do we really want to hear the paranormal one? Oh, how long is Watermelon? Oh yeah, maybe we could do that one instead. Oh, Watermelon's shorter. Okay, I'm gonna read Oni's other fic, so I'll get to read everyone's fics. And we'll stop there because that other one is it sounds so funny, but I don't have the stamina for it. My voice is my voice is going. I think yes, whatever's going on here, yes. Welcome in, Maverick. We're doing some dramatic fanfic reading. I'm gonna read only one more fic, actually a submission from Oni in chat. And then we're gonna stop there because my voice is... It's already been dead, but we've just continued on, so... We're gonna do one more. But I think it would be really fun to do this again sometime. Especially we only did a couple of spicy ones, which is fine. They didn't all need to be spicy. But I think it would be really funny to do more spicy ones in the future. So Ruuuvo sent me so many. I only read one, but they sent me like 12 fanfics. So I'll have those for next time. Maybe we'll do another dramatic reading. But yeah, we'll do this one more fic and then we'll call it there. I made it once again instead of checking 3 hours after stream has ended. Yeah, I stream at like a really late time for my time zone. Like up to like 2 a.m. So it's a little weird of a time. But it's what works for me. But welcome and glad to have you. The Ghost fanfic is on Discord if anyone wants to read. Oh, yes. If you're in the Discord, it's in the suggestions channel. Okay, one more fic from Oni called The Watermelon Experiment. Let's see. The summary. Majima wasn't exactly happy when Saejima brought a watermelon home. Sometimes it's the little things that remind you of something so horrible. Maybe all it took was a different perspective and a culinary experiment to create a new memory, perhaps a much nicer memory. Of all the reactions Saejima expected when he walked into the apartment, an eye roll and a scowl wasn't one of them. The fuck did you bring that thing in for? Majima whined. Saejima furrowed his brows, figuring his bro was just being his usual sourpuss self. He smirked and raised the round, waxy object in his hands to eye level. What the hell's wrong with you? Saejima teased. Ain't happy to see a nice, juicy, sweet watermelon? Jealous I could find one so big? He stuffed it right under Majima's nose. Majima took a second to look at it and swatted at it, turning away. Jealous of that thing? It's just a fruit. Saejima lowered the melon and smirked a little wider, nudging Majima's shoulder with the huge watermelon. Majima only rolled his eye again and shuffled away. Ah, come on. Ain't you proud of my little find? Saejima placed the melon on the table. Ain't these things kind of rare this time of year? Plus, I've been craving this stuff since I got out. Nothing beats a nice, fresh watermelon after 25 years. Majima took one, lingering look at it. Saejima suddenly noticed how his scowl deepened, though something else in his face raised a little red flag. Did he actually look sad? The look lasted just a second, and Majima practically skittered away. Yeah, whatever, and fucking joy, I got shit to do. Hey, I'm gonna try something with this. Wanna taste it? Saejima called as Majima walked into the hallway. Of course you do. You've been watching those cooking vids again, ain't ya? Majima chided. Damn straight. Gonna make something real nice. He noticed Majima take one quick look back and skitter further away. Saejima was tempted to ask if everything was all right. He could just tell something was bothering him. Whatever. Gotta do some shit in the office. Be back later. Majima opened the door of the penthouse and walked out. Sure, later. Saejima called. He heard the door close and the steps from those characteristic shoes scraped down the hallway. Saejima looked... Okay, we don't need the dramatic music now. Let's do this. Let's see. He heard the door close and the steps from those characteristic shoes scraped down the hallway. Saejima looked down at the watermelon on the table, trying to connect a few pieces. In a moment, it came to him. The big watermelon presented so grandly, sitting on a plain table. Oh, there was an ashtray beside it too. Saejima's mind was filling in the black bag Majima placed on the table right next to it. The bag with all those guns. Fuck, why didn't he connect the dots sooner? Sometimes it's the little things that remind you of something so horrible. Majima was the one who brought the watermelon that day. Maybe it was something he just couldn't look at. In the few months since he got back, he noticed a few other little things that just set Majima off. One of them was takoyaki. Oh, he couldn't go near the stuff or tell him why. He had the same reaction. Maybe it had something to do with something else that happened. Saejima could sympathize. He tended to avoid ramen joints recently. Just the smell or the sight of the pans on the stove in the kitchen would make him want to run. Saejima sighed and picked up the watermelon. Oh well, more for him. He put the melon in the sink and washed it off, then patted it dry, placed it on the table, and fished a few tools out of the kitchen. He remembered that part from that video he saw. It was so basic, he committed it to memory. He took out a large serrated knife and cut the melon in half, exposing the soft pink fruit underneath. With another knife, he carved out the seed section. It looked so different underneath that green shell. So pretty. It was a different perspective somehow. Maybe all it took was a different perspective to create a new memory. Perhaps a much nicer memory. Saejima smiled. Maybe this could be a good thing all around. Majima practically forgot about Kyodai's little cooking experiment. The kitchen was cleaned up almost perfectly, almost like nothing had gone on at all. Then he saw the rinds and the seeds in the trash. He closed the top and looked away with an odd satisfaction. The damn thing was pulverized. He cursed himself out for feeling so weird about something so small. What was wrong with him? It was a goddamn watermelon. He saw those things thousands of times.
Or maybe it was because Kyodai brought... No, it was just him being silly. He took care of a few texts and emails, then settled on the couch and finding a sitcom on TV. He heard the door open. Yo! Yo, Kyodai! He called. Yo, Saejima called back. He heard the freezer door slide open. He was probably getting a snack or something. So how'd that little cooking experiment go? Majima asked. He heard a little chuckle from the other room. Saejima must have been pleased with himself. He heard those heavy footsteps across the floor and saw the big lug peek from the doorway. Want to see it? Saejima asked. Yeah, why not, you crafty housewife, you? You sure? Majima cocked an eyebrow at the question. What kind of response was that? He looked up at Saejima, seeing a look on his face he knew too well. One that spoke volumes, and asked him stuff he would get punched for asking outright. Majima looked back at him, appreciating that concerned look. Majima dramatically looked to the ceiling and sighed. Yes, I want to see it, he grumbled. What did you do with the fucking fruit that was so damn cool? Saejima's concerned look brightened to a warm smile. You sure? You ain't gonna be a sourpuss about what I worked so hard on? Okay, fine. What did you work so damn hard on? Not like you can do that much with a fucking fruit. And right up, Saejima disappeared around the doorway like a little kid about to do show and tell. Majima just groaned. Majima went back to watching this sitcom, but heard a few random sounds coming from the kitchen. He had to admit, he was curious what Kyodai was doing. A few minutes later, he saw Saejima's form walk into the room and looked over. In his hands was a wooden tray with 2 glasses, each containing pink balls submerged in some kind of liquid and garnished with sprigs of mint. Oh. Oh, what the hell'd you do? Majima snickered, a smile forming on his face. Majima placed the tray on the coffee table and stuck spoons in each of the glasses. Here. Hora! Saejima presented one of the glasses to Majima. Majima scooped it up and took a look at whatever concoction Kyodai made. He sniffed it and caught a whiff of watermelon, basil, and sake. Holy shit! Ain't this fancy? Saejima smiled back, taking a seat on the couch next to Majima and scooping up the other glass. He gave Majima a look of anticipation. Of course he wanted to gloat. Majima picked up the spoon and scooped up a couple of the balls, then put them in his mouth. The watermelon had a frozen slush consistency with some herbs and sake. I'm sorry. It was sweet and tart, overall outright tasty. Majima blinked and looked up at Saejima, who was now smirking hard. That's goddamn delicious, he declared. Thanks. You seriously did this yourself? From a video? It was pretty simple. Just added in some stuff to make it, I don't know, pop. Saejima scooped some of the little melon balls in his mouth and let out a with a satisfied look. You done good, bro, gotta say. Majima shoveled in some more of it. For a moment, he had a realization. He was eating something watermelon and was actually okay with it. It didn't taste entirely like it. It had a few more elements to it that broke up a few bad memories from that last time. Majima found himself gazing at Saejima while the frozen watermelon melted in his mouth. Saejima was scooping up his own concoction, looking very pleased with himself. A smile spread over his face, getting that feeling again of something coming around. Maybe things going well again. Saejima looked up and locked his gaze. Majima almost looked away. Instead, he kept gazing into those eyes. He got a spoonful of melon ball and offered it to Saejima. Saejima smiled and leaned forward until Majima yanked it away. Saejima playfully pouted, but Majima just had to offer it again. This time, he gobbled up the spoonful. Saejima got a spoonful of his own and offered it. Majima wrapped his mouth around it and lapped it up lewdly. Saejima snickered and Majima just had to smile. Saejima slid closer and rested his head on Majima's shoulder. Majima kissed the top of his head. You done good, he stated again. Thanks. Saejima turned his head closer and planted a kiss on his lips. Majima happily returned it, tasting the sweetness on his lips. Maybe he made some new memories, after all. The end! My throat feels terrible. I have to say. Oh my god. That was so cute, though. Oh, that was very, very cute. I didn't know your fanfics were gonna be so cute, Oni. Well, this was a lot of fun. I hope y'all enjoyed this silly stream that I got all dressed up for. We should definitely do this again sometime. I think I'll definitely make this a regular thing that we can unlock when we do like special events and stuff like that. I think this was a lot of fun. Yeah. And there's so many fics out there. We could do this so many times. There's so many things to read. You know? I love this, but you should read. Oh yeah, yeah. My throat's killing me. I feel it like right here. It's just like yeah, your fics were great.
I definitely, that other one was really, really good. I see why you asked me to read that one first. That was really, really good. But they were both really good. That's just me being bad with time. I'm sure it's the same time though. Yeah, I stream, every time I stream it's at 9:30 p.m. Central. I will say this is the only stream I'm doing this week because of the holidays. I have to bake so many things tomorrow, so I'm just not, I know I'm not gonna have the energy to stream. And then I'm not gonna be around, you know, the rest of the week. So we're gonna come back next Tuesday through Friday. There's a lot of fun stuff coming up soon. There's also some streams I'm gonna be doing for Stumpmas with the Stumped Gamers group. And it's gonna be really fun. I think I'm gonna be streaming the games that we're gonna be playing together. So we're gonna have some streams that are outside the usual times. I will tell y'all more about that next week. But yeah, look forward to that. Otherwise, thank y'all so much for being here. If you submitted fanfics, thank you so much. I hope y'all had a good time. I try to make it fun. The explicit fic was very funny. I had to censor so many things. And it was still so explicit, so that was fun. But see, it wasn't not safe for work the whole time, you know. We had all kinds, we reached all different kinds of emotions today. Yeah, perfect stream before Turkey Day. Y'all have a gobble gobble day. Yeah, okay, that was definitely gobbling something. Oh, I gotta go. I gotta get out of here. Oh my god. You made it sound so good. Thank you. You have to get so baked. I mean, you have to do a lot of baking. Oh my god. I have to bake so much. I'll try to share some pictures of what I bake tomorrow. Alright, bouncing on it. Crazy style. Exactly. Okay, I'm gonna go now. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate y'all as always. Super fun stream today. I'll be back next Tuesday through Friday at 9:30 p.m. Central Time. We're gonna have some extra bonus streams as well. So I'll let y'all know about that later. But yeah. Here is my social media if you want to follow me anywhere. I am most active on Blue Sky. And YouTube, of course. TikTok's also got daily uploads right now. So that's really fun. Oh my god, wait. Before I go, because I'm not going to be here for a week. If y'all are still here. Can I quickly read some of my TikTok comments to y'all? Because TikTok comments in general always crack me up. But now I'm getting comments on my videos and it's so funny. Hold on. Let me find some. Oh my god, I even got 3 new ones while I was streaming. That is not what I clicked TikTok. Okay, let me find some funny ones. Without the gloves. More content. Very quickly. Okay. Oh wait, Majima with nails. I forgot. I forgot I had nails on. That is so funny. Okay. Let's see. I've uploaded so many videos here. Let's see. Oh, there was some good ones. All right, let me scroll through. Give me a second. You know what? Yeah, I'm just gonna filter the comments. That'll be faster. Okay. Actually, a lot of comments. I love getting comments on TikTok. It's so funny. Sorry, it's taking a second. I'm like scrolling through. There was some really funny ones. It's like a few. Oh my god, okay, this one killed me. Okay, do y'all remember that scene where Adachi is blindfolded in Infinite Wealth and he's trying to hit the watermelon and almost hits Namba? And Namba and Kiryu are both buried in the sand next to each other? Yes? It was like the DLC after we beat the game. Okay. I uploaded that part on my reaction, and someone said, they're holding hands under the sand. It killed me when I read that. Just imagining Namba and Kiryu like under the sand, just like almost T-posing. Oh my god. Oh. Yeah, the mental image of that was so funny. Alright, what's another one? And the same video, someone else said, nobody looking at that damn cantaloupe. Because Adachi's just fucking ripped and wearing a Speedo. Oh. Another person for the same video said, this whole time I thought the Kiryu in the sandpit was an edit. What the fuck? Oh. Welcome in, PC Man. Howdy. We're actually ending stream, but I'm reading some of my TikTok comments because they crack me up. Someone else was like, Adachi's kinda... and then had the flushed face. I forgot how absolutely built Adachi is. Now, the thing is, my headcanon is that Adachi has a dad bod. And it doesn't make sense for him to not have one, but... Why is Adachi buffed up? I posted a clip of my reaction to Ruuvo's pictures from Pirate Yakuza of just all these, like, horny pictures of Majima. And someone said, this is his canon photo gallery on his phone, I bet. Like, that's just the pictures Majima takes of himself. Another person's like, why does Majima look like Baby No Money? Majima's fine at all times. I posted the clip of when we made Majima unsexy with like the pink shirt and stuff. And then y'all were like, oh no, I still would. And I was like, what is wrong with y'all? Someone said, Majima's never not sexy. Losing scruff means nothing. Another person saying he looks like Baby No Money. I think some of these are actually hidden because they're like explicit. I need to go look for them because they're so funny. I wish I could unhide them, but TikTok just does it. Majima sir, my DMs are open. When I was reacting to Goro being really cute, someone was like, realest reaction ever, not gonna lie, bro is such a cutie pie. When I reacted to Goromi, the shriek was so real. Me too. I remember when they revealed Goromi in a screenshot and my Twitter went crazy. Okay, I think I need to go into the videos to find some of the really funny ones because they're like hidden. Because they're flagged. Not fair. It's not right. Let's see. I think there was a really funny one to some of these Majima clips. Gotta scroll, gotta scroll. There was such a... Okay, hold on. I'm looking. I can't stop stream until I find the specific comments that I had. Okay, here's some. Okay, this was a clip of me reacting to Y3 suit Majima in Pirate Yakuza for the first time. I do tricks on it. JK. Unless. Another person responded with a reaction image that says, I deserve it. Top me. Oh god, what else? What else? I'm reading my TikTok comments. Oh my god. Some of the reaction images are so funny. Is there anything else that was really good? The tricks on it one, that one killed me. And the holding hands on the sand. Those are like my two favorite ones right now. I thought this one was just like funny, cute. I posted a clip of me as Grandpa Majima, and Ruuuvo was telling me like, "Oh, don't break your hip, Grandpa," and like teasing me. And that's when I started like dancing. Someone was like, "You be nice to Majima." I just thought that was cute. You be nice to him. So anyway, yeah, I upload every day to TikTok. It's like a bunch of Pirate Majima clips and stuff. All kinds of stuff on there. And it's been really fun seeing people's reactions to things. So yeah, anyway. I'm gonna go now because I am so tired. And yes, the fanfics did get extremely thirsty, extremely spicy. I did censor, but you can only censor so much, so they're still pretty spicy. But it was really funny. Now, I'm exhausted. Oh, on a scale of 1 to 10, how dramatic a stream been? Yeah, I would agree, 69. Precisely. These one do tricks on him, lick him like a lollipop. Oh my god. This fandom is so thirsty. And can you blame them? No. Can you blame us? No. No, you can't. Anyway, I'm gonna go now. Good night, chat. I had fun. I'll see you next week, okay? Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you next time. Bye.